Today, a mobile phone allows the user to bank, shop, trade, pay bills, book tickets, and a plethora of other uses. The phone can even be used to access a host of governance services offered to the citizens by the government. Besides the obvious, there is a whole wide world of entertainment at your fingertips, from music, movies, games, video calls to social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Mobile phones have truly revolutionized the way we live. But how do mobile networks operate? In verbal communication, sound is created through vibration of vocal cords, which produces airwaves, which then travel through the air to the ear of the receiver. This is then perceived and interpreted by the brain as sound. When we communicate through electronic devices, such as in mobile communications, the voice is translated into electronic impulses and transmitted through the air. This conversion using electricity and electronics creates an electromagnetic field, commonly referred to as an EMF. Such electromagnetic fields are not new to humans. The rays from the sun are a part of the everyday EMF that we are exposed to. We simply cannot move a muscle or produce a thought without an electrical pulse. And wherever there is electricity, a magnetic field is also produced, which is why we link them together as electromagnetic fields or EMF. In a simpler way, from the good old telegraph to the radios, television, microwaves, walkie-talkies, computer screens, refrigerators, hair dryers, music players, cars, bulbs, and the sun, they all produce EMFs. We have been living with such devices and gadgets from Marconi's age. Radio waves can be broadly categorized into two types: ionizing and non-ionizing. Ionizing waves, such as those used for diagnostics and radiotherapy, like in CT scan, X-rays, etc., have the ability to ionize matter, that is, to break chemical bonds in the human body. They have the potential to cause harm to humans, yet they are safe because they are regulated for safety through their dosage and exposure of safety limits. Whereas non-ionizing waves, such as those emitted by cell phones and antenna on towers, do not carry enough energy to break any chemical bond within cells and tissues in the human body.
We've been using X-ray radiation now for more than 115 years. And we still haven't been able to establish the relationship of cancer and radiation to any great extent. Now, mobile tower radiation is different. It's not even X-ray radiation. It is inherently a type of radiation that we believe does not produce any kind of significant harm at the distances that we work with from the tower.
The cell phone photons do not have enough energy to cause a mutation in your DNA, period. No matter what their power is. The power density from the sun received on the earth is typically 1000 watts per square meter, while that at the base of a cell phone tower is 10,000 times smaller at about 0.1 watts per square meter. Everything on this earth has a safety limit. If those limits are not maintained, then even a life-saving drug like penicillin becomes dangerous. If you stand under the sun, you will gain vitamin D. But if you stand for way too long, then you are at the risk of suffering a sunburn or heat stroke. So it's all about safety norms. We have safety norms for cars, medicines, buildings, and likewise. There are stringent safety norms for mobile tower emissions too.
Check.
But what are these safety norms for mobile phones and antennas on mobile towers? And how safe is safe?
The mobile towers have been around in the world for
check. 1, 2, 3.
almost 4-5
This is
decades.
special announcement to all of you.
Number
I request to everybody, please
of
settle
studies
down
has been conducted
because we are going to
by
start
the World
this
Health
beautiful
Organization,
occasion
the UN.
in just few minutes. And our chief guest is arrived here in just 5 minutes. I request to everybody, please settle down.
check, check, check. Hey, hey. Test, test, one, test, check, 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 check. Hello, check, check. Gaurav, check, check. One, test, test, check, check. Hello, hello, check, check, check. Hello, hello, check, 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 check. One, test, test, check, check, check. Hello, check, check. One, test, test, check. आगे
Once again, I would like to request everybody, please settle down.
Mobile phones are no longer just another communication device. Rather, they are a complete connectivity platform. Today, a mobile phone allows the user to bank, shop, trade, pay bills, book tickets, and a plethora of other uses. The phone can even be used to access a host of governance services offered to the citizens by the government. Besides the obvious, there is a whole wide world of entertainment at your fingertips, from music, movies, games, video calls to social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Mobile phones have truly revolutionized the way we live. But how do mobile networks operate? In verbal communication, sound is created through vibration of vocal cords, which produces airwaves, which then travel through the air to the ear of the receiver. This is then perceived and interpreted by the brain as sound. When we communicate through electronic devices, such as in mobile communications, the voice is translated into electronic impulses and transmitted through the air. This conversion using electricity and electronics creates an electromagnetic field, commonly referred to as an EMF. Such electromagnetic fields are not new to humans. The rays from the sun are a part of the everyday EMF that we are exposed to. We simply cannot move a muscle or produce a thought without an electrical pulse. And wherever there is electricity, a magnetic field is also produced, which is why we link them together as electromagnetic fields or EMF. In a simpler way, from the good old telegraph to the radios, television, microwaves, walkie-talkies, computer screens, refrigerators, hair dryers, music players, cars, bulbs, and the sun, they all produce EMFs. We have been living with such devices and gadgets from Marconi's age. Radio waves can be broadly categorized into two types: ionizing and non-ionizing. Ionizing waves, such as those used for diagnostics and radiotherapy, like in CT scan, X-rays, etc., have the ability to ionize matter, that is, to break chemical bonds in the human body.
I'll check. All right. So once again, I request to everybody, please settle down. We are going to start this beautiful occasion together. Thank you so much once again. So well, namaskar, sat sri akal, and a very, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it's given me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome each one of you who present here, attending the awareness program on EMF emission and mobile towers. The workshop has been organized by the Department of Telecommunication and the Ministry of Communication to help us to understand more about EMF emission and telecom tower so that we may fear them less. My name is Anna Thakur and I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful event, especially as the topic of today's awareness program which touched my life too. So we have eminent speakers as well today. They are coming from the area of medical research, telecom technology and the governance. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, who will present to us their finding on the possible effects of EMF emission and the telecom towers on our lives. As we know, fear is a darkness and the knowledge is the light that can dispel the darkness. On that note, may I request our chief guest and the honorable guest, please come over here for the light, the lamp in the spirit of dispelling the darkness. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for our chief guest and the honorable guest. A beautiful ceremony, that is lamp lighting ceremony, which is resemble our culture. So once again, congratulations everybody and settle down. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to request our dignitaries, please come on the dais by name. First of all, I would like to invite on stage with your huge round of applause, Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary. Let's have a bigger round of applause for him. Welcome, sir. Next, our chief guest, Shri Dipendra Singh Desi, Chief Secretary, Haryana. Once again, welcome, sir. And the Shri J.K. Upadhyay, Member T. Let's have a bigger round of applause for him. And the next, I would like to request Shri Ram Niran, DDG team. Welcome, sir. And also welcome on stage Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, DDG CS. Once again, welcome, sir. And I also request and invite on stage Mr. V.K. Ahuja ji and Mr. R.P. Singhal, DDG teams. I request both of them, please come on the stage and present the beautiful flowers to all of them. Once again, I would like to request both of you, please come on the stage for a moment. Thank you so much, Shri V.K. Ahuja ji, and once again, thank you so much, R.P. Singhal sir. Now, it's time to welcome address by Shri R.P. Singhal, I would like to invite over here Shri R.P. Singhal, Deputy Director, General Telecom, Enforcement Resource and the Monitoring Team, Punjab and Chandigarh. Let's have a bigger round of applause for him.
Respected Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary, Department of Telecom, Government of India. Shri Dipinder Singh Desi, Chief Secretary, Government of Haryana. Shri G.K. Upadhyaya, Member Technology, Department of Telecommunication, Government of India. All senior officers from central and state government, eminent speakers and dignitaries on dais, public representatives, distinguished journalists and media persons, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It gives me great pleasure and pride to have the honor of extending a hearty welcome to all gathered here on this auspicious occasion of having the nationwide awareness program on EMF emissions and telecom towers in our fair city of Chandigarh. I would like to especially welcome Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary, Department of Telecommunications, Government of India, who has gone to great lengths to take time out of a very hectic schedule to come to be present here with us in Chandigarh for the fourth important awareness program on EMF emissions and telecom towers. He has been the driving force behind this event, which is the fourth of many such meetings that are planned to be held across the country. I also extend a warm welcome to Shri Dipinder Singh Desi, Chief Secretary, Government of Haryana, and Shri G.K. Upadhyaya, Member Technology Department of Telecommunications, Government of India, for gracing this occasion with their presence. Sir, we are greatly honored by your presence here. My warm welcome to all senior officers from central government as well as from Government of Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh who have come to support this initiative and to grace this event. I also extend a warm welcome to all the eminent speakers who would be presenting professional opinions and scientific facts. My hearty welcome to all delegates and participants, including senior journalists, media persons, representatives of local bodies, residential welfare associations. It is our pleasure to have you here for this important awareness program on EMF and mobile towers. I urge the participants to give objective and careful consideration to the issues which will be discussed during the course of program. I am sure that in the spirit of open discussions, this will be a successful program. With so many eminent authorities and experts scheduled to share their thoughts and recommendations with us, I will not take up more of your time except to thank you all for honoring us with your presence. I will conclude by stating that we believe that this DOT initiative is very important for Digital India and several other government programs and would lead us to the highway to a better tomorrow. I once again extend warm welcome to distinguished guests, media persons and all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. And again, now for the inaugural address, I would like to invite here Shri J.S. Deepak ji, is the Secretary, Department of Telecom, Government of India. Let's have a big round of applause for him. As we know, he don't need any explanation about their information. As we know, Deepak sir is an Indian Administrative Service IAS officer of 1982 batch of UP, Kadri. He is an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And Deepak sir joined as Secretary, Department of Telecom, Government of India on 1st February 2016. His responsibility include formulation of telecom policy, regulations and the reforms in the sector. Deepak sir is also leading various initiatives for improving telecom infrastructure in the country, including the rollout of the National Optical Fiber Network and the BharatNet to provide connectivity to all 2.50 lakh Gram Panchayat in the country. So well, let's have a bigger round of applause. The one and only Mr. J.S. Deepak.
My esteemed colleague, Shri Dipinder Singh Desi, Chief Secretary, Haryana, and senior officers from the government of Haryana, Punjab, and the Chandigarh administration, Shri G.K. Padhyay, Member Technology, Telecom Commission, and senior officers of the government of India, and especially from the Department of Telecom, including its field units, distinguished participants in this workshop, including leaders of local bodies, mayors, corporation commissioners, representatives of resident welfare associations, stakeholders in our telecom sector, invitees, members from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a matter of great privilege and honor for us to be present here in the beautiful city of Chandigarh in your midst to speak today on a topic of great importance in public policy. During my statement, I would like to touch on three major areas of interest on the subject of electromagnetic field emissions coming out from telecom towers and the need for awareness relating to this issue. The first area which I would touch on is why wireless technologies or mobile services are essential to us, something which an audience as this perhaps would truly appreciate. Second point, do we need to fear emissions from mobile towers? What is the latest scientific evidence on this score? And three, what steps have been taken to ensure that electromagnetic field emissions from mobile towers are safe? After this session, where we'll also hear the Chief Secretary of Haryana, we will have a panel discussion with experts from the medical field as well as technical experts and engineers who will, through an interactive medium, speak to you, make presentations, seek your questions, and through a discussion, we will take understanding, mutual understanding, and a shared understanding on this issue forward. As far as the mobile telephone is concerned, it has been for India a game changer. When we got our independence in 1947, there were only 82,000 phones. In 1947, there were only 82,000 phones in the country. From then, in the next 50 years, up till 1997, this number grew to 2 million. Thereafter, mobile telephony became a technology of choice, and this number has grown from 2 million to more than 1 billion in the last 20 years. So this has been almost a revolution. Most of us believe that technology can change the world and transform lives. The pre-mobile scenario, which many of us, at least people of my generation, remember, when we had to queue up at PCOs if we wanted to make calls. Landlines had waiting lists. And I can give you my own example. When I was posted as a sub-divisional magistrate in Roorkee, a Kumbh Mela was to be organized in Hardwar. And a distance of, and there were all huge amounts of logistics arrangements to be made and VVIP visits in 1986. Huge amount of communication needed to be done between Roorkee and Hardwar, a distance of 30 kilometers. We used to book calls, trunk calls, and they were called lightning calls, and with the government priority, they would be termed as crash. And most of the time, that's what happened. They crashed, You could just not get it through. We used to take the additional precaution of typing out a message and sending it through a courier on Jeep, and often that message reached Hardwar before the call matured. So this is 1986, and you see what it is today. We have 24/7 telecom connectivity, and if there's an area or a room where there's no signal, or a moment when you cannot make a connection, people get very upset. That is the level of expectation that technology has brought. The key feature for India has been that we have leapfrogged one stage of landline network, and unlike in other countries where they have landline networks, satellite networks, mobile networks, the only network we have is the mobile network. Therefore, the mobile is today the killer app, as I would say, and connectivity on the go is what everyone wants. And this leads to a whole lot of governance, government to citizen services, e-commerce, and social connect through social media and other networks. So far I mentioned about the mobile voice situation and how we've progressed. If you look at broadband and internet, India is even today a digital have-not. We are 155th in rank in mobile broadband in the world, as per the report of the UN Broadband Commission. We are 131st in landline broadband, and our rank in the number of households which are connected, which is about 18% compared to a global figure of 45%, is more than 100th in the world. This is especially worrisome because we are unable to leverage digital resource for growth and development. There are numerous studies which show what connectivity, broadband connectivity can do for economic growth. One such study by the World Bank points out that for 10 percentage points increase in broadband connectivity, the per capita GDP goes up by 1.38 percentage points. So it's a worrisome matter if the absence of broadband puts a brake on growth and development of the economy. In addition, it also prevents the access of various kinds of health, education, and other services. However, the good news is that this scenario is changing. In data connectivity, we are at the tipping point. The use of data is cascading, and internet is reaching out to more and more people. The first 100 million internet connections in India took us 18 years. The second 100 million took 3 years. The third 100 million, 18 months. And the pace is accelerating. The United Nations estimates that in the next 1 billion internet connections in the world, 400 to 500 million, roughly half of them would be from India. And this is a huge digital opportunity for us. From health and education to human resource development, from agriculture to disaster management, from financial inclusion to e-commerce and entertainment, availability of data connectivity can open a new world of opportunity through the mobile broadband network. The Prime Minister's vision of Digital India to provide digital infrastructure to every citizen, to provide services through electronic service delivery online, paperless, cashless, presence-less, without the need to go to government offices, and to empower citizens to give them a voice and a choice in the schemes which government designs, is something which will happen with the realization of the vision of Digital India. I think this is not only a great opportunity, but a potential for partnership between people, between local bodies, between utilities, between government organizations, between citizens like you, to bring the best that is promised by data connectivity to each and every citizen in the world. The problem is that today we still have 800 million people who do not have internet access. And this needs to be rectified very quickly. The applications of mobile data you can see on the screen are huge. And where the technology is marching as we move from 4G to 5G, where things will be connected. The Internet of Things will be an era where there will be driverless cars and sensors which will enable you to switch off and switch off applications in your homes and offices remotely, is an era which we are and we need to be preparing for. Mobile connectivity and data can also be a great tool for equity and empowerment, especially of women, for safety, for preventing crimes, for getting assistance, for reaching out to emergency facilities in the health area during accidents, for victims to be taken to hospitals, and a whole variety of things which I don't have to talk to an audience as aware as this one. So the question is, do we need wireless technology and mobile? And I'm sure you will agree with me that the answer has to be a resounding yes. If we want good quality communication 24/7 for homes and workplaces, for citizens on the move, mobile towers are a must, because the technology is such that signals go in a straight line from mobile towers, and if there's a building in between, then it cannot go through it. So you have to put mobile towers in such a way and make a network that it covers the entire population. It's almost, I keep giving the analogy, having mobile connectivity 24/7 without quality of problems, without call drops, is very similar to having 24/7 water supply. If you want 24/7 water supply in your apartment or flat or bungalow, you need to have an overhead tank. Similarly, you cannot say I want water supply without having overhead storing facilities. Similarly, if you want mobile connectivity, mobile towers have to be erected. And this is the learning from all over the globe, from every country, from US, Europe, Japan, China, and the rest of them. Now look at it, let's look at how mobile technology has changed over a period of time. 1G technology was the landline in the 1980s. 2G was digital voice, in which case we were about 20 years behind the world. 3G technology we got in 2010, after spectrum for this was made available, and we were about 10 years behind the world. 4G, recent launches have taken place in the last 2 years, and we are still about 5 years behind the world, and we are hoping to catch up with 5G. We believe that India has suffered in the past due to being late in latching on to the latest technology, whether it be in manufacturing, whether it be in services, or in any other field. This is something we need to address, and this sector, the telecom sector, is one where we are fortunate to have the latest technology. Though with some delay, the technology we use for 2G today, the equipment we use for 3G or 4G is exactly the same equipment which is used in Europe or US or Japan. The vendors who supply it are the same. The standards, both for performance and safety, are the same. And the maintenance and other protocols are exactly the same. So while we have been late, we are slowly catching up with the latest technology, including these standards which are globally practiced anywhere in the world. This brings me to the core of the subject of today's workshop. Are there any ill effects of low-level electromagnetic fields emitted from mobile towers? There may be discourse in different areas, But as far as I am concerned, I have absolutely no doubt in saying with the greatest confidence at my command that the answer has to be a resounding no. There are no known ill effects of low-level electromagnetic field emitted from mobile towers on human health. And why I say that, let me share this with you. The mobile technology as we know it today in India is being used for the last 45 years in Europe and in the US, and they have stringent health standards. And these fears are not only typical to India. In the early years of mobile proliferation, when towers were coming up in the West, there were these kinds of fears even there. So a lot of research has been done globally on the effect of electromagnetic radiation fields of the kind emitted by mobile towers on human health. The World Health Organization, or WHO, is the apex body of the UN, which is charged with the responsibility of protecting human health in 192 plus countries in the world. And looking at the concerns of population and people like you and me, citizens who have a right and a duty and obligation to be concerned about their own health, the health of their children and their neighbors, WHO has done a variety of studies. Most importantly, they have referred to approximately 25,000 articles published around the world over the last 20 years, based on an in-depth review and peer evaluation of those studies. And what is their finding? It's before you on the screen. Despite the feeling of some people that more research needs to be done, scientific knowledge in this area is now more extensive than available for chemicals. There is a lot of scientific knowledge available of the effects of mobile tower radiations on human health. The energy that comes from sunlight is many, many times more than that coming out of radiation of multiple towers and radiators which may be situated in any place around the world. So this is the standard. They are stringent. We have also put in place a process and system for enforcement of these standards which is very rigorous. The Department of Telecom has established 32 telecom enforcement and resource monitoring cells, one in each of our license areas, including, for instance, in Chandigarh for Haryana, Punjab, and for Chandigarh, 2 of them, which monitor radiation on a random basis. In India, there are something like 4,75,000 towers with about 1.2 million, 12 lakh BTSs, the radiators, because there's tower sharing. You can put more than one radiator on a tower. Out of these, over the last 5-6 years, we have tested 310,000 BTSs, the base transmitting stations, the radiators. Out of 3 lakhs which have been tested, only in 210 we have found standards were not being matched, and they have been penalized and closed down. The percentage is 0.015%, 1/60th of 1% of where this was an issue. So it is, and every tower that is installed has to be certified by the installing agency, the vendor, that it is within the radiation limits, and on a random basis it is tested by the Department of Telecom. The short point which I propose to make to you is that you should be assured, I mean, we are citizens as much as you are. We may be government servants today, we may be public servants, but we are not asleep at the wheels. We have looked at the international standards, made them more stringent, set up a mechanism for enforcement, and it is being monitored very rigorously to ensure that there can be no concern to human health. The violation attracts a penalty of 10 lakh per violation, and it is so stringent that operators, anything they do, they take care that this is maintained. And this is an ongoing process. But myths and misconceptions prevail. Number of people, a lot of well-meaning activists, citizens groups believe, and have in the past held the belief, that this radiation could be harmful to human health. As a result of this, many local bodies, municipalities, state governments have been putting restrictions on placement of towers. The Delhi Development Authority 6 months ago promulgated bylaws which said there should be no towers in residential areas. We made a presentation to them, showed them the scientific evidence, the best practices, and the DDA rescinded the bylaws, changed it, and agreed that there need not be any restriction because these towers are safe. A number of cases have gone to high courts, and we have 13 decisions of high courts, including the Punjab High Court, the Allahabad High Court, the Kerala High Court, Gujarat, Kashmir, many others. In every case that has been adjudicated before the high courts, well, the best lawyers from both sides have led evidence. Scientific experts have given their depositions. In every case, the high courts have held that there is no case for shutting down towers, moving infrastructure because of health hazards. The point I wish to make is that it's a myth, it's a misconception. It needs to be addressed. There can often be loose statements. I hear a lot of people say that, oh, birds are dying because there are towers. We used to see so many sparrows, they are no longer there. Yesterday I was before this standing committee on IT and Telecom. They asked me, do you have a tower near your house? I shared with them, and I can share with you that I stay in an area called New Moti Bagh, where all the secretaries of Government of India stay, ministers stay, a lot of judges stay. We have at least a dozen towers on the high-rise buildings in that colony. We have 300 peacocks on the campus. We have parrots and crows and sparrows galore because we have a lot of greenery and it is a protected area. The radiation is not something which impacts this. And most of all, in New Moti Bagh, we have 24/7 voice and data connectivity because of the presence of towers in every room in the bungalow that I stay. So the choice is yours. If on the basis of unfounded evidence you do not want to put towers, there's no way that telcos can provide you with ubiquitous mobile and broadband connectivity. My message to this group, a very distinguished and educated and informed group, is that, and my message to you and the media present here, to activists and to public leaders, business leaders and others, is look at the evidence. Please look at the scientific evidence. There's a whole lot of it. Go to the website, go to the WHO website, go to a credible website. Lots of people can blog things and write anything. Just because it is on the internet or on a WhatsApp group, it doesn't mean it is the truth. Go to a credible website and assure yourselves. My message to local bodies and leaders from there, the councillors, the mayors, the corporation commissioners and government officers, these towers is the best practice of providing connectivity the world over. Without towers, there's no connectivity. If you want to go back to an era where you have to go to the main road, where like we went to the PCO to take a call and shed the convenience of being connected from your home, that's your choice. But there is no need for it because there's no risk for it. Because we believe on the basis of established scientific evidence and expert opinion, a lot of which will be shared with you, which you will see in the sessions to come, that this is absolutely safe. And my message to industry is that reach out to people, assure them of the fact that there is no risk. This is too important an area, and if the citizen wants comfort, we need to give the comfort. And this workshop is about sharing with you our views, understanding your concerns, discussing it, and hopefully giving you the message and giving you the comfort which I have today, that my children in my homes, where there are 10, 12 towers all around, are not unsafe. You will also go back with the understanding that your children are safe wherever you are, even if there are towers. Lastly, I have taken more time than I intended to. let me share with you upcoming innovation with the Department of Telecom is doing. See, we are clear that there is no problem, but we do not believe that if a citizen is concerned, there can be any other thing but to give him comfort. So we are going to launch a portal, an interactive portal, an EMF portal very soon. Hope well before the end of this calendar year, hopefully in the month of December. This portal is designed to provide a public interface for viewing EMF compliance status of mobile towers anywhere in India. You can go by lat long to any tower in your locality, any of these 4,75,000 plus towers, and see what is the EMF radiating status of that tower. It will be geo-mapped. You can access the tower in your neighborhood. But most importantly, if you have a doubt that there is a tower set up by a telecom company in your neighborhood, if you want to get it tested, if you want to get it tested by the Department of Telecom and its experts, you can make a request on this portal. We do testing on the basis of a random sample that we will keep doing and putting on the portal. But just like a Tatkal thing, if you want comfort about a tower, for a fees to be fixed, which would be of order 5 to 10,000 rupees, you can get a tower tested. An RWA, a municipality, an individual citizen can, and we will have the possibility of doing about 1,000 tests a year. And we will put the thing so that you have additional comfort that the radiation from towers is not harmful. There may be other reasons why disputes occur for establishment of towers. There may be commercial reasons, there may be jealousy of neighbors, there may be others, and this is something which I will not go to. But my job is to convey the message, and the Government of India believes that mobile radiations are not harmful to human health. With this, I'm sure, and the deliberations we'll have in this workshop, you will be better informed about this subject. And let me once again extend my most warm welcome and a word of thanks to all those who have made time to be present here this morning in this workshop. I hope you will find the deliberations useful. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, sir, once again for your informative session. So now, the next session, I would like to invite over here Shri Dipendra Singh Desi, Chief Secretary Haryana, is a chief guest. And as we know, 1982 batch IAS officer Desi sir start his career as the sub-divisional officer of Firozpur Jhirka, Haryana, on the central deputation since June 2010 up to June 2015. He has worked with the former Chief Minister Bansi Lal and Om Prakash Chautala as Additional Principal Secretary and was the Principal Secretary, Town and Country Planning Department in the Bhupender Singh Hooda government. He held the additional charge of CMD of the Metal and Minerals Trading Corporation of India Limited, MMTC. In the additional to this, he also served as the Additional Deputy Commissioner of Gurgaon before becoming the Deputy Commissioner of Narula. He held the portfolio of Director General of Supplies and Disposals, DGS&D. So let's have a big round of applause for him.
Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary Telecom, Government of India. The member, Mr. Upadhyay, all other dignitaries on the dais, officials from the three governments who work out of Chandigarh, all the representatives of local bodies and representatives of the resident welfare associations, and government officials from Punjab, Haryana and UT. This one-day interactive session being held here today in Chandigarh is indeed very timely, as Mr. Deepak very succinctly explained how from 82,000 connections in 1947, now we have reached 1 billion plus, and at the same time we have the Digital India program being actively promoted by our Honorable Prime Minister. So there could not be a more relevant topic than telecom connectivity and the allied issue of the supposed risks that this technology poses to the health of the citizens of the country. I will not dwell in great detail on the technical aspects of the issue, but definitely I would like to put things in perspective as far as the state of Haryana is concerned. I think most of the people who are present in this room, the generation they belong to, would be aware that Haryana as a state came into existence 50 years ago. In fact, on the 1st of November 2016, the state is going to start the celebrations of its golden jubilee of its establishment. And these 50 years have been very, very eventful in all respects, but also in terms of technology. In fact, today's newspaper carries an item saying IT exports out of Haryana touch a figure of 42,000 crores. And as we all know, IT has an integral connection with Telecom. Another field where we are way ahead of our counterpart states in other parts of the country is in terms of the use of IT for the benefit of the common man. When it comes to Aadhaar enrollment, we've already touched 100% plus. In fact, we are ranked number 3 in the country. And in particular, we have started a program for enrollment of young children in the 0 to 6 age group, where we have taken the initiative, what we call the Aadhaar enrollment of newborn children, and we are the leading state in the entire country with a enrollment of 65% plus. Then we are also very actively in the process of developing what we call the state resident database, and this will very much ride on the technology platform, where at one single point we are integrating all information relating to a citizen, whether it's his Aadhaar number, his birth record, his schooling record, his ration record, his marriage details, his employment status, and ultimately his death certificate. We are at a fairly advanced stage. Two more things I would like to mention. As part of our plan to use IT, internet connectivity and telecom connectivity for the benefit of citizens, We are in the process of establishing common service centers in the villages. Already 3,179 of them are in place. They are transacting. From 1st of November, our public distribution system is going to move on to the electronic platform where 100% transactions are going to be through the point of sale device. In fact, when Honorable PM comes to Gurgaon on 1st of November, we are rolling out this program universally for the entire state, where 100% transactions of the PDS are going to be through the point of sale device. Similarly, we have about 23 lakh pensioners. 100% of them are through the DBT, direct benefit transfer, where unlike the earlier system of either sending it to the post office and then physical distribution through the panchayats, now we are remitting it directly, electronically, to the bank branch or the post office where that beneficiary is enrolled. And lastly, we are one of the leading states in the rollout of the national optic fiber network. Already 100 of our, rather about 400 villages are fully lit up, and in 3,740 villages, even the optic fiber has been laid. We are just waiting for the terminal equipment to reach there so that that can also be made active. Those of you who are from the rural part of the state would be perhaps aware of a program launched at the national level called the National Agriculture Market, where a platform has been, electronic platform has been provided, where you can transact across mandis within the state and across mandis across different states. This was launched in April 2016. I have just some data to share with you. Till date, the total transactions in the entire country carried out through this electronic platform were to the tune of 886 crores. Out of that, 676 crores was accounted for by Haryana. The total number of farmers registered was 2,17,000. Out of that, 1,41,000 are from Haryana. And out of the commission agents registered, 26,800, 12,400 are from Haryana. So our government is taking a very proactive role in use of technology, and particularly the telecom and the IT related technology. The representatives of the Towers Association are also here. There are some issues related to the mobile tower policy, but I am happy to inform all present that our policy is now almost at the final stages, and we have tried to adopt all the best practices being followed elsewhere, and very soon we will be formally rolling out our policy. Let me conclude by saying that awareness is the key thing for any technology to be adopted across the board in all sections of society. And since mobile towers are not only an urban phenomena, but they have as much relevance in the rural setup, in the villages and the panchayats also, and particularly now when the national optic fiber network is going to roll out. So there is as much need for creating awareness at the grassroots level. So just like we are having a workshop here, maybe the officers of the Department of Telecom, even at the district level or at the block level, maybe you can have some workshops for the sarpanches and the other functionaries at the lower level, because ultimately the mobile tower operator has to approach the local body, whether it's the municipal body or the Gram Panchayat, and they are the people who take the final decision whether a mobile tower is to be allowed to be set up there or not. So that's a suggestion I have to make. So let me thank and congratulate the Department of Telecom that they have taken up this initiative of spreading the correct knowledge about the technology, removing the misconceptions, and hopefully once this series of workshops gets completed all over the country, the requisite level of awareness and responsible debate will come into place, and this fundamental issue of whether to locate or allow a tower in your neighborhood or not will become irrelevant in the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, once again for your warm words. Now I would like to request and invite on stage Shri V.K. Ahuja ji, DDG team, to present memento to Shri Dipender Singh Desi, Chief Secretary Haryana. Let's have a big round of applause. Please come over here, hostess. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And now I would like to request and invite on stage Shri R.P. Singhal, DDG team. Please present beautiful memento to Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary DOT. Let's have a big round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And it's really an honor to us. And I request to all dignitaries, please stand up for a photo op. Thank you so much once again. It's time to take a 15-minute break, so let's have a tea outside the hall. Thank you so much, everyone.
telephony has been critical. In fact, it is because of cell phones that we were able to leapfrog a stage of development, and from program, there is a need for high-speed broadband connectivity. And of our broadband users, almost 90% are mobile broadband. So that is the way the growth will take place. Most people will access high-speed broadband, digital services, e-commerce, e-governance applications on their mobile phones, all of which requires mobile communication of a very high order to provide reliable and high-speed connectivity. If you are dependent on the cellular network for your communication needs, obviously you need towers. We have something like 500,000 towers in the country, and because of this, we've got the mobile footprint over 90% of our population. And this has to grow. If you do not have a mobile tower, there is no way you can get connectivity. I mean, to seek 24/7 connectivity, high-speed broadband in every room, in every house, and at the same time to say that there should be no mobile towers in residential colonies, this is not going to happen. It's a contradiction in terms. We are clear in government that mobile broadband will have to be ubiquitous very soon to fulfill the vision of digital India, and for that we will need increasingly large number of towers. Towers in government buildings, towers in residential areas, towers all over the place. The mobile towers emit electromagnetic radiation, which is a low electromagnetic field. This has been tested all across the world for tens of years. The mobile as a form of communication has been there in the developed countries for almost 40 plus years, and they have strict health standards as well. And nowhere has there been a need to do away with mobile towers in the interest of protecting the health of citizens. As far as the government of India is concerned, we are absolutely committed to protecting the health of our citizens, and our standards, our electromagnetic radiation limits that we prescribe for emissions from mobile towers are very strict. In fact, they are more than 10 times stricter than the international standards which have been prescribed by the WHO. So we are kind of making it doubly sure that there is no risk to health from electromagnetic radiations coming from mobile towers. The government is also committed to ensure that these limits on radiation are very, very strongly enforced. We have an entire network of term cells which do surprise checks, which do random tests to see whether the radiation levels are within the prescribed limits. And we prescribe very stiff penalties as well. For instance, as part of our Indian Telegraph Act, we prescribe a penalty of as much as 10 lakhs of rupees for each transgression where the radiation limit is more than prescribed. And in the last 6 to 8 years, we've hardly found any mobile tower which is radiating above the norm. We have recently, to improve the problem of coral drops, identified in the Lutyens zone of Delhi 120 sites where we will install new towers to be shared between the various telecom service providers to provide connectivity, both voice and broadband. And of these, 81 towers which are coming up on government buildings, whether it's Udyog Bhavan or Shastri Bhavan, our own office building, Sanchar Bhavan, everywhere there are towers. In fact, I live in New Moti Bagh, which is a residential colony where most secretaries to Government of India live. And we have
Ladies and gentlemen, you're requested to please come back inside the hall. We are about to start the next session. We are now ready to start. Request all the people to kindly settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are now beginning the plenary session for this awareness program today. I would now request Shri Ram Narayan, Senior DDG Term, DOT, Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, DDG CS, DOT, and Dr. Suresh Atali from the Grace Cancer Research Foundation to kindly join us on the dais. I would like to invite Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, DDG CS from DOT, to kindly address the gathering. Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi is the Deputy Director General in Carrier Services Division of the Department of Telecommunications, Government of India. He has worked in various senior management and leadership positions in the DOT, BSNL, and MTNL. He has over 25 years of professional experience in the telecom industry, covering diversified areas such as research, policy formulation, strategic management, business development, projects planning, operations, and logistics. Dr. Chaturvedi belongs to the 1982 batch of the Indian Telecom Service. He has graduate degrees in engineering and law and has done his post-graduation in management from the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies in Mumbai. He also holds a PhD in management studies from the Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies in Mumbai. He has been associated with the leading management institutes in advisory and visiting faculty positions as well. I would like to welcome Dr. Chaturvedi to kindly address the gathering.
Respected Secretary Telecom and Chairman Telecom Commission, sir, Member Technology Telecom Commission, sir, dignitaries on the dais, senior officers of central and state government, representatives of local bodies, RWA, senior journalists, ladies and gentlemen. I have been given a complex task to explain the technical concepts of EMF and mobile technology in a simple language, layman's language, which everyone can understand. Now, if we see complexity, human is the most complex creation,
And in that human, 1,000 times more complex is human brain. दिमाग सबसे कॉम्प्लेक्स क्रिएशन मानी जाती है, और इस दिमाग ने बड़ी इनोवेशंस की हैं, बड़ा काम किया है, हमारा बड़ा ध्यान रखता है, हर चीज़ को पूरी तरह समझ के ही मानता है। और इसकी इनोवेशंस की अगर हम बात करें तो अगर बहुत पहले से चले कई इनोवेशंस हैं, कुछ मैं मेंशन करता हूँ। कुकिंग गैस की एक इनोवेशन हुई, बड़ा आसान हो गया खाना बनाना महिलाओं के लिए, लेकिन ये दिमाग है कि बिना समझे नहीं मानेगा। इसने जो है फिर कुछ शंकाएं जागृत की कि इससे तो गैस हो जाती होगी, कोयले से तो खाना बड़ा अच्छा बनता है, इससे कैसे बन सकता है। कई दिनों तक जो है बड़ा रेजिस्टेंस रहा, और अंत में अगर आज हम देखें तो शायद कोई सोचता भी नहीं है कि कुकिंग गैस से कोई भी नुकसान है। कुकिंग गैस के अलावा और कोई प्रावधान ही नहीं, और कोई तरीका ही नहीं है खाना बनाने का जो है। फिर आया, फिर आगे चलता रहा, दिमाग अपना काम करता रहा। दिमाग ने फिर प्रेशर कुकर ईजाद किया। प्रेशर कुकर ईजाद हुआ, फिर से पूरी तरह समझे बिना एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना है। प्रेशर कुकर तो फट जाता है, इससे तो एक्सीडेंट्स हो जाते हैं, इसमें तो जो उसके पूरे जो पाचक तत्व होते हैं वो नुकसान हो जाता है, विटामिन्स लॉस हो जाते हैं, सभी तरह की चीज़ें अपने में। लेकिन फिर एक समय आया, दिमाग ने पूरी तरह समझ लिया कि नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, प्रेशर कुकर से ईंधन की बचत होती है, इट इज़ ए एफिशिएंट वे, और इसने सभी ने इसको एक्सेप्ट पूरी तरह से कर लिया। आजकल इट्स ए वे ऑफ लाइफ। एक और चीज़ जो इस दिमाग ने ईजाद की, जिसे कि बहुत कम समय में दुनिया में 750 करोड़ लोगों ने सब्सक्राइब कर दिया है। हिंदुस्तान में भी जिसे 100 करोड़ लोगों ने जो है एक्सेप्ट करके सब्सक्राइब किया है, और जो कई लोगों को हर तरह की ये जादू की छड़ी है। अगर आपको अपना एंटरटेनमेंट करना है तो इसकी मदद ले लीजिए, अगर आपको कुछ सीखना है, कुछ एजुकेशन चाहिए, नॉलेज चाहिए, तो इसकी मदद ले लीजिए, आपको पासपोर्ट बनाना है, वीज़ा बनाना है, टिकट बुक करना है, तो इसकी मदद ले लीजिए, आपको कुछ गवर्नमेंट से अपना काम करवाना है, लाइसेंस बनवाना है, तो इसकी मदद ले लीजिए। हर तरह से इसने हमारी लाइफ को इफ़ेक्ट किया है, whether it is at individual level, whether it is at group level, social level, community level, national level, global level, everywhere it has made a difference. It has touched upon our lives. It has touched upon our lives in every manner. It has become an integrated part of our life. It is very difficult to think of our life without a mobile phone and internet. That is what the status is. But while all these things were going on, and this was becoming a platform to connect with friends and family and change the way we live, what was happening on the other side is that there were some, जो दिमाग का काम है पूरी तरह से समझ के ही एक्सेप्ट करना, कुछ जो है डाउट्स, कुछ परसेप्शंस जो कि which were probably unfounded, which were based on hearsay, which were not based on scientific examination and scientific evidence. उस तरह की शंकाएं कुछ उसने जागृत करना शुरू की। So now the big question which comes to us is कि एक तरफ तो है डेफिनेट एडवांटेज, हम विकास कर रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे पढ़ लिख रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चों को जो भी दुनिया में होता है वो सुनने, समझने, जानने का मौका मिल रहा है, हमें विकास करने का मौका मिल रहा है, हमें कनेक्टिविटी मिल रही है। और दूसरी तरफ इस तरह की कुछ भ्रांतियां जो कि साइंटिफिक एविडेंस और इंक्वायरी पे बेस्ड नहीं है। तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए उस केस में, हमें क्या करना चाहिए? तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले हम शुरू करेंगे, व्हाट इज ईएमएफ? ये जिसकी इतनी सब बात हो रही है, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक एमिशन, ये है क्या चीज़? तो इसको अगर सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझें तो जहाँ भी वोल्टेज, तो सभी लोग जानते हैं, जहाँ भी वोल्टेज डिफरेंस होगा, चाहे वो 220 वोल्ट का हो, चाहे 440 वोल्ट का हो, चाहे उससे और कई गुना हो, चाहे बैटरी का 1-1.5 वोल्ट का ही जहाँ भी वोल्टेज होगा और जहाँ भी करंट फ्लो होगा, वहाँ पर एक इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड जनरेट हो जाएगा, जो कि इलेक्ट्रिकल फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का कॉम्बिनेशन है। और ये वोल्टेज या इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड जितनी बार चेंज होगा, ये हमेशा बदलता रहेगा, वो जो है जितनी बार चेंज होगा उसको हम कहते हैं फ्रीक्वेंसी। शुरू में अगर हम अपनी बिजली की बात करें तो 50 हर्ट्ज का होगा, ये जो है केवल 50 बार चेंज होगा 1 सेकंड में। अगर हम जो सुनते हैं रेडियो के थ्रू या अपने म्यूज़िक सिस्टम के थ्रू उसकी बात करें तो 5-7 हज़ार बार चेंज होगा 1 सेकंड में। और इसी तरह से और अगर आगे बढ़ते जाएं तो ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड कंटिन्यूसली चेंज होता रहेगा। तो ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और मैग्नेटिक फील्ड दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन है ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड, जिसके बारे में हम आज बात कर रहे हैं। और ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड कब से है? क्या ये अभी शुरू हुआ जब से कि जो है मोबाइल टावर्स आना हुआ है? नहीं, ये तो शुरू से था। जब से सूरज है तब से इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड है, क्योंकि सूरज की रोशनी भी जो है इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड क्रिएट करती है, उस पर भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन होते हैं। ये जितनी चीज़ें जो है, टीवी है, रेडियो है, माइक्रोवेव है, फ्रिज है, कॉर्डलेस टेलीफोन है, बेबी मॉनिटर है, ये सारी चीज़ें इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड जनरेट करती हैं। ये वास्तविकता है। और इसका अगर हम एक एग्जाम्पल देखें तो ये एक स्लाइड है जिसमें सारी चीज़ें, वो सारी चीज़ें जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड जनरेट करती है, उसमें से कुछ चीज़ों को दिखाया गया है एक रेंज की तरह से। जो सबसे हाईएस्ट फ्रीक्वेंसी के जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड्स हैं, जो सबसे ज़्यादा बार परिवर्तित होते हैं, हजार बार शायद वो जो है, वो है एक्सरे और न्यूक्लियर एमिशंस के द्वारा होने वाले इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड्स, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड्स। ये इसमें इतनी एनर्जी होती है कि अगर ये किसी चीज़ों से टकराता है तो उसमें से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को अलग कर देता है। इसे कहते हैं आयोनाइजिंग फील्ड। ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को अलग कर सकता है, चीज़ों को आयोनाइज कर सकता है, डैमेज कर सकता है अगर अनकंट्रोल्ड वे में यूज़ किया जाए। लेकिन हम जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड अपने घरों में या मोबाइल टावर्स में बात करते हैं वो इससे बहुत अलग हैं। दे आर नॉट आयोनाइजिंग। व्हाट आर दे? तो अगर ये रेड वाले से दूसरी तरफ हम चलना शुरू करें तो फिर डे लाइट आती है, टैनिंग लाइट्स, उसके बाद में डे लाइट्स। सूरज की किरणें जो हैं ये इससे हजार गुना कम पावरफुल है, उतना ज़्यादा नुकसान नहीं करती है। उससे और नीचे आए, सेटेलाइट है, मोबाइल है, सूरज की रोशनी से भी 1000 गुना कम, प्रैक्टिकली कोई नुकसान नहीं। किसी भी तरह से अगर वो नॉर्म्स में है तो कोई नुकसान नहीं कर सकती। और उसके नीचे आए तो मोबाइल के नीचे टीवी है, AM FM रेडियो है, पावर लाइंस हैं। तो ये जो ग्रीन वाला जो एरिया दिख रहा है वो नॉन आयोनाइजिंग इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड्स हैं जो कि हमें नुकसान नहीं करते। और जो हमें खतरा है वो शायद न्यूक्लियर रेडिएशंस और एक्सरे भी अगर अनकंट्रोल्ड तरीके से की जाए। तो ये दोनों का अंतर समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है। जो मोबाइल रेडियो में जो वेव्स यूज़ होती हैं, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड होते हैं, वो हमें किसी तरह नुकसान नहीं करते हैं। तो वो फील्ड्स जो नुकसान करते हैं और जो नहीं करते में है, हमें बिल्कुल क्लियर डिफरेंस होना चाहिए। जैसे ग्रीन वाला पोर्शन जो दिखाया गया है, जो मोबाइल टावर से जो रेडिएशंस होते हैं, दे आर नॉन आयोनाइजिंग, दे कैन नॉट मेक एनी परमानेंट चेंजेस इन आवर बॉडी और सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स, एंड दे आर सेफ कंप्लीटली। वाइल आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशंस जो कि एक्सरेज और न्यूक्लियर हैं, दे कैन प्रोबेबली चेंज, उसकी हम यहाँ बिल्कुल बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो अब अगर आगे बढ़े तो ये एक स्लाइड है जिसमें कि कितना विकिरण, ये जो ग्रीन जो है 1 वॉट जिसको कहते हैं, एंड में जो दिख रहा है, उतने विकिरण तक हम से नीचे हम पूरी तरह से सेफ हैं। और ये जो चीज़ें यहाँ पर दिख रही हैं, इलेक्ट्रो ओवन, जनरेटर, PC, मोबाइल एट्सेट्रा, उनसे उस 1 वॉट से बहुत बहुत कम विकिरण जनरेट होता है। तो इस तरह से हम इसकी वजह से पूरी तरह सेफ है। लेकिन ये तो दिमाग है, इतनी आसानी से तो नहीं मानेगा। हम किसको विश्वास करें? हो जाए आप कह रहे हो यहाँ पर खड़े होके, हम क्यों आप पे विश्वास करें? और लोग तो कुछ अलग भी कहते हैं कभी कभी। तो फिर क्या किया जाए? तो इसके लिए इसका सॉल्यूशन है, जैसा पहले सेशन में भी आपने देखा था, जो इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, जो सब लोग मिल करके जो रिसर्च कर रहे हैं और जो बहुत रिसर्च कर रहे हैं साइंटिफिक तरीकों से, उस पर तो हमें विश्वास करना पड़ेगा। हमने अगर कुछ चीज़ दिमाग में आई, कह दिया, उस पर हम विश्वास नहीं कर सकते। WHO जो कि 194 कंट्रीज़ जिसके मेंबर हैं, 150 कंट्रीज़ में जिसके ऑफिसेस हैं, 7,000 जिसके एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं और 25,000 से भी ज़्यादा आर्टिकल्स और रिसर्चर्स को जिन्होंने कलेक्ट करके स्टडी की है, उनकी बात तो हमें मानना पड़ेगी, जिनका काम ही है केवल ह्यूमन हेल्थ को संभालना होगा। दूसरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है ICNIRP, इंटरनेशनल कमीशन ऑन नॉन आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन प्रोटेक्शन। इन्होंने भी जो है सारी स्टडी करके, इंटरनेशनल स्टडीज़ करके, सभी रिसर्चर्स को पढ़ के एक नॉर्म बनाया कि इस नॉर्म से नीचे अगर आपका एक्सपोजर है तो यू आर कम्प्लीटली सेफ। और वो नॉर्म भी काफ़ी बड़ा फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी लेने के बाद बनाया कि अगर यहाँ पर मान लीजिए नुकसान होना शुरू होता है तो यहाँ नहीं, आप उसको और कर दीजिए कम, और कर दीजिए कम, और कर दीजिए कम, और फिर इतना हमने कह दिया कि भाई इतना है तो ये तो बिल्कुल सेफ ही है। इसका मतलब है कि अगर उससे थोड़ा सा बढ़ गया तो कुछ हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। इस ICNIRP और WHO ने मिलके 1996 में केवल इसी काम के लिए कि EMF की स्टडी करना है, एक EMF प्रोजेक्ट बनाया। उन लोगों ने उसमें 50 कंट्रीज शामिल हुई और 8 इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो यहाँ पर लिस्टेड हैं, उनने इसको मॉनिटरिंग किया जिससे कि ये पूरी तरह से बिना किसी पक्षपात के हो जाए। और उन्होंने फिर जो है ये नॉर्म्स तय किए और ये डिसीजन लिया कि क्या करना चाहिए। तो अब उस रिसर्च को जो ये लोग सभी देखते हैं उसको कैसे किया जाता है। मैंने किसी छोटी सी लेबोरेटरी में अपना कुछ तय किया, देखा, हाँ अच्छा मैं वहाँ उस दिन सो रहा था, सामने टावर था, सिर दुखने लगा ना। उस सिर दुखने के कई कारण हो सकते हैं, उसको एट्रीब्यूट करना ठीक शायद नहीं है। तो ये लोग कैसे रिसर्च को देखते हैं, चेक करते हैं। पहले ये लोग वर्ल्ड ओवर जो भी रिसर्च हुई है उसको इकट्ठा करते हैं, फिर उसको जो है उस रिसर्च को उसमें से नाम वगैरह हटा करके, किस कंट्री में हुई है, किस व्यक्ति ने की, वो सब हटा के ब्लाइंड रूप से जो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनको भेजते हैं कि इसमें से कौन सी रिसर्च आपको लगता है कि क्वालिटेटिव है, सही प्रोटोकॉल से की गई हैं और पूरी तरह से जायज़ हैं, जिसमें कोई जो है ऐसी डाउट्स की संभावना नहीं है। उन सारी रिसर्चेस को इकट्ठा करके, जिसको कि पीयर रिव्यू कहते हैं, एक साइंटिफिक कंसेंसस बनाते हैं सब लोग मिल बैठ के कि भाई हमने ये जो है 15,000 रिसर्च हमारे पास आई, उसमें से 5,000 हमने चूज़ की कि ये लगता है कि ये क्वालिटी रिसर्च है। उसमें एक साइंटिफिक कंसेंसस बनाते हैं और उसके बाद में एक मोनोग्राफ जिसको कहते हैं वो जारी करते हैं। वो मोनोग्राफ फिर से डिस्कस होता है, उसमें जो भी ऑब्जेक्शंस हैं वो फिर से एक बार साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी देती है और उसके बाद ये गाइडलाइंस तय की जाती है। तो इन गाइडलाइंस के लिए एक बहुत डिटेल्ड साइंटिफिक प्रोसेस है, ये इस तरह से नहीं होती। दिमाग का फिर ठीक है, चलिए मान लिया आपने समझा दिया कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सब बड़ी अच्छी तरह से अपना काम करती है, साइंटिफिक बेसिस पे रिजल्ट निकालती है, तो कहती क्या है आखिर जो है। तो वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कहती ये हैं, पहली चीज़ कि इसमें काफ़ी रिसर्च हो चुकी है, करीब 30-35 साल से ये चीज़ें रिसर्च हो रही हैं और दुनिया भर में कई हजारों रिसर्चेस इस बारे में हो चुकी हैं। और उन सब रिसर्चेस को देख करके ये पता चलता है कि current evidence does not confirm the existence of any health consequences from exposure to low level electromagnetic field। जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक लो लेवल का हमारे फ़ोन में, हमारे मोबाइल टावर्स में होता है, उससे कोई नुकसान नहीं है। दूसरी चीज़ जो ये कहते हैं, अगेन जो EMF प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, डिस्पाइट एक्सटेंसिव रिसर्च टू डेट there is no evidence to conclude that exposure to low level electromagnetic field is harmful to human health. These are their observations. WHO ने, ICNIRP ने जो नॉर्म्स बनाए, ICNIRP ने कुछ नॉर्म्स बनाए, उन्होंने कहा कि 1 वॉट या F/2000 से कम अगर एक्सपोजर है तो आपको कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा। ICNIRP के नॉर्म्स को WHO ने भी एग्जामिन किया, उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, इससे अगर कम नॉर्म्स हैं तो आपको कोई नुकसान नहीं है। और ये नॉर्म्स UK, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, सिंगापुर और 124 से ज़्यादा देशों में लागू किए गए हैं। 124 से ज़्यादा देश इन नॉर्म्स को फॉलो करते हैं, इंडिया उसमें से एक था। सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कम्स कि ठीक है, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे तो आपने ये सब कर लिया, दिमाग है इतनी आसानी से तो नहीं मानेगा, पूरी तरह से समझेगा। उन्होंने कहा ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग इन इंडिया। सो व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग इन इंडिया इज़, इंडिया ने बहुत पहले से, जब से ये मोबाइल की चीज़ें शुरू हुई तब से इस चीज़ को ध्यान में लेना शुरू किया था कि क्या इससे कोई नुकसान है, फ़ायदा है, क्या करना चाहिए, और सारी रिसर्चेस को वर्ल्ड ओवर क्या हो रहा है उसको चेक करना, पढ़ना, समझना शुरू किया। 2008 में इक्निर्म के जो नॉर्म्स थे वो इंडिया ने अडॉप्ट किए कि, और सभी टेलीकॉम सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स को ये निर्देश दिए गए कि आप इन नॉर्म्स को फॉलो करेंगे, जो कि उनको करना ही है क्योंकि ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के निर्देश हैं। 2012 में जब ये चीज़ें फिर से शुरू हुई, इंटर मिनिस्ट्रियल कमेटी बनाई गई। उस कमेटी ने कहा कि ठीक है, ये इंटरनेशनली ये ठीक है, साइंटिस्ट भी यही कहते हैं, साइंटिफिक एविडेंस भी यही कहता है कि इक्निर्म वाले नॉर्म्स आपको फॉलो करना चाहिए, पर फिर भी वी आर वेरी मच कंसर्न। हमारे इंडियन पॉपुलेशन जो है वो जस्ट एज ए मैटर ऑफ abundant precaution, scientifically there is absolutely no harm, but still as a abundant precaution you make the norms further stringent। तो जो norms पहले से ही बहुत stringent थे, जहाँ खतरे का लेवल है वहाँ से इक्निर्म ने बनाए थे, उससे 10 गुना और norms को स्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया गया। तो अब जो norms है उसमें आप कहीं टावर लगाएं, किसी भी तरह के एक्सपोजर हो, किसी का भी एक्सपोजर हो, कोई नुकसान कहीं पर नहीं है। ओके, लेकिन ये तो दिमाग है, दिल तो नहीं है जो कि आसानी से मान जाए। बहला फुसला लिया, भले ही कहते हैं दिल है तो वो मानता नहीं, पर फिर भी बहला के, फुसला के, समझा के, नमस्ते करके मान जाता है। दिमाग है, जब तक पूरी तरह नहीं समझ लेगा नहीं मानेगा। वो कहता है कि ठीक है, ये सब चीज़ें ठीक हैं, बट नाउ बट इज़ ए वेरी बिग क्वेश्चन, बट व्हाट। सो नाउ दिस नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कम्स इज कि ठीक है चलो ये सब है, पर क्यों आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं करते कि आप जो है शहर के, चंडीगढ़ है या कोई भी जो दूसरा शहर, आप एक कोने में कहीं लगा दे टावर, जो है हर जगह जगह आपको लगाने की क्या ज़रूरत है। Now this we have to understand, it is not possible। अगर इस हॉल में अगर सबको पढ़ने जितनी रोशनी चाहिए तो आप एक बल्ब यहाँ लगा के उसका नहीं चला सकते, आपको जो है सभी जगह पर बल्ब लगाने ही पड़ेंगे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड। इसी तरह से मोबाइल टेक्नोलॉजी भी इसी तरह से चलती है कि अगर एक जगह टावर है वहाँ से कुछ दूरी तक उसका कवरेज रहेगा। जैसे टार्जन के बारे में आपने देखा होगा, जंगल में जब वो एक रूट से दूसरे रूट या एक ब्रांच से दूसरे ब्रांच झेलता हुआ जाता है, झूलता हुआ, तो एक ब्रांच छोड़े उसके पहले उसे दूसरा ब्रांच पकड़ना होता है, तभी वो आगे स्विंग कर सकता है। ऐसे ही मोबाइल में भी जो है एक टावर का सिग्नल इतना वीक हो जाए कि वो ड्रॉप हो जाए, उसके पहले उसको दूसरे मोबाइल टावर का सिग्नल मिलना चाहिए हो जाए। तो इसलिए काफ़ी डिज़ाइन, काफ़ी टेक्निक, काफ़ी डिटेल कॉम्प्लेक्स टेक्निकल डिज़ाइन होती है जिसके थ्रू कहाँ पर मोबाइल टावर्स लगना है वो डिसाइड होता है, और इसीलिए आपको जगह जगह पर टावर्स लगाने होते हैं। दूसरा बट, अच्छा ठीक है चलो ये भी मान लिया कि आप जो है बहुत सारे टावर्स बहुत सारी जगह लगाने हैं, लेकिन क्या ये सब सेफ़ है? अगर मेरे घर के एकदम पास में है तो क्या सेफ़ है? यस, इट इज़ सेफ़, क्योंकि आप कहीं भी नॉर्म्स आज अब तो आप चेक भी करवा सकते हैं, चेक कंटिन्यूसली हो सकते हैं। सभी टावर्स नॉर्म्स में जनरेट कर रहे हैं इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड, और दे आर ऑल सेफ। सेफ्टी स्टैंडर्ड्स टेक इनटू अकाउंट 24/7 EMF radiation under all circumstances, close to residents, children, pregnant women, old and the sick, for everyone। सूरज की रोशनी जिसे हम बड़ा सेफ मानते हैं, या ये जो बल्ब जल रहे हैं ये सब भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स जनरेट कर रहे हैं, इनको हम बड़ा सेफ मानते हैं। सूरज की रोशनी मोबाइल टावर से निकलने वाले एमिशन से 1000 गुना ज़्यादा पावरफुल होती है। दिस इज ए फैक्ट। इन लाइट्स की रोशनी का इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड उससे ज़्यादा होता है। दिस इज ए फैक्ट। फिर अच्छा ठीक है चलो ये भी मान लिया, लेकिन अगर मेरे घर के सामने एक टावर नहीं, मान लीजिए 5 टावर लगे हुए हैं, या एक इधर दिखता है, एक इधर दिखता है, एक इधर दिखता है, या एक ही छत है और उस पर 4 एंटीनाज लगे हुए हैं, देन व्हाट? फिर तो ज़रूरी ये सब बढ़ जाता होगा, क्योंकि ये नॉर्म्स जो बनाए होंगे वो तो एक एंटीना के लिए बनाए होंगे गवर्नमेंट ने, जो है इतना तो सोचा नहीं होगा कि बाद में 4-4 टावर लग जाए। नहीं, इट इज़ नॉट करेक्ट। आपके यहाँ पर जो रेडिएशन के नॉर्म्स हैं वो चाहे आपके घर के आसपास कितने ही टावर हों या आपकी सामने की छत पर कितने ही टावर्स हों, सब टावर से निकलने वाले टोटल एमिशंस नॉर्म से कम होना चाहिए। अगर उसमें किसी भी जगह पर आसपास के सारे टावर्स से निकलने वाले नॉर्म से ज़्यादा है एमिशन, तो उन सभी टावर्स को जो आसपास हैं सभी को पेनल्टी लगाई जाती है। दिस इज़ व्हाट द नॉर्म्स आर। नाउ कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि अच्छा ठीक है चलो ह्यूमंस का तो मान लिया, पर ये जो छोटे प्राणी हैं, बर्ड्स हैं, बीज हैं, तो आपने देखा होगा कि बर्ड्स तो पावर लाइंस पे बैठे रहते हैं मुझे, या जैसा उन्होंने बताया आपको कई फोटो, अभी मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, अब आप देखना शुरू करना, कभी थोड़ा सा पानी वानी बरसे या शाम के टाइम पे जहाँ देखिएगा जहाँ पे बर्ड्स आते हैं, आपको टावर्स पे बैठे हुए तमाम बर्ड्स मिल जाएंगे, टावर्स के ऊपर बैठे हुए, मेरी कॉलोनी में बैठे रहते हैं, मेरे ऑफिस के सामने बैठे रहते हैं, कई फोटोग्राफ्स मेरे मोबाइल में मैंने लिए जब ये इश्यूज आए तो। और जहाँ तक एक्सटेंशन का सवाल है कि बर्ड्स कुछ कम हो रहे हैं, यस कम हो रहे हैं, पर उसका कारण टावर्स नहीं है, उसके कई रिसर्चेज उस पर हुई हैं, उसके और कई कारण हैं। हैबिटेट का लॉस, पहले हम लोग बाहर सुखाते थे गेहूं और अपने सारे अनाजों को, जहाँ से कि बर्ड्स आके चुग जाते थे वो चीज़ें, अब कुछ नहीं है। पेस्टिसाइड्स का इतना यूज़ हो रहा है, वो सब चीज़ें जो है उनको अपना घोंसला बनाने के लिए यहाँ पर जगह नहीं है। और साइंटिफिक स्टडीज़ ने कहा है कि आज से नहीं, आज से 20 साल पहले भी बर्ड्स की स्पेसीज एक्सटिंक्ट होती रहती थी, नई स्पेसीज आती रहती है। दिस इज अ प्रोसेस ऑफ इवोल्यूशन। ये इसकी वजह ये नहीं है मुझे। ओके, काफ़ी चीज़ें चलो समझ में आ गई, लेकिन सब कुछ कर दिया आपने, नॉर्म्स भी प्रोवाइड कर दिए, सब कर दिया, लेकिन फिर भी जो है मान लीजिए ये टीएसपीज नहीं मानते और अपना टावर का जो है एमिशन बढ़ा देते हैं, तो फिर आप क्या करेंगे? सही बात है, लेकिन उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट ने काफ़ी डिटेल्ड प्रोसेसेस बनाए हैं मॉनिटर करने के लिए और इन्फोर्स करने के लिए, और वो आप सब्सिक्वेंट प्रेजेंटेशन में डिटेल्स में कवर करेंगे, जो कि आप जानेंगे कि ऐसा नहीं है। टीएसपीज उनके लिए इतना वो नहीं कर सकते, नॉर्म से एक्सीड हो जाए। अच्छा चलो, अब काफ़ी कुछ समझ में आ गया, तो अब देन व्हाट इज़ द फाइनल आउटकम? क्या फिर अब क्या करना चाहिए बताइए? सो दैट देयर वी कम टू फाइनल स्टेटमेंट्स। टेलीकॉम टावर are definitely adding to our all-round growth in every field. They are must for connectivity. They are needed for our state, our nation, and they are safe. That is what is the statement. Government is concerned. Public health and safety is of paramount importance to the government, and standards are designed and enforced to ensure that all places are equally safe. There may be rumors, but there is no empirical evidence of any danger to human life because of all this. Even World Health Organization, after 30 years of studies, has revealed that there are no such towers, no such threats. We need towers. We have already embarked on a story of growth. We are growing. We are using this digital revolution for our benefits, and we must continue with it. That is what is the message. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening session. I'm sure a lot of us will take away some key knowledge facts from what you've just presented. I would now like to call upon Dr. Suresh Attali from the Grace Cancer Research Foundation to come and address the gathering on the medical and health aspects of mobile towers. Dr. Suresh Attali is a renowned physician and scientist working on both basic and clinical research in hematology and oncology. Dr. Attali has published over 90 original research articles in various peer-reviewed journals. Dr. Attali is currently working as a consultant medical oncologist and hematologist at the Apollo Hospital in Hyderabad.
Thank you.
Over to Dr. Attali.
Yep. Thank you. So, अभी हम जो बात करने चाहिए that is on the health effects. फिजिक्स तो पढ़ लिए, हमने तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन भी देख लिए, अब एक्चुअली एज ए डॉक्टर ईएमएफ को हम क्या मानते हैं, कितना सेफ है, कितना अनसेफ है, अगर अनसेफ हैं तो उसके लिए क्या प्रिकॉशंस लेना चाहिए, इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे थोड़ी देर के लिए। बस एक छोटी सी फाइन गैप है परसेप्शन और ट्रूथ के बीच में, जो आपको लगता है वो परसेप्शन है, जो सच है, उन दोनों के बीच में साइंटिफिक एविडेंस बोलते हैं, जो ब्रिज को। तो मैं जो भी करने चाह रहा हूँ वो आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू गिव यू दी परसेप्शन को ट्राइंग टू कन्वर्ट इनटू ए साइंस। इंजीनियर से सुन लीजिए, जैसे आपने बोला, मीडिया से अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही हमने इंटरेक्ट किए थे, पब्लिक काफ़ी बोलती है, पॉजिटिव बोलती है, नेगेटिव भी बोलती है, बायोमेडिकल साइंटिस्ट वो भी काफ़ी लोग कहते हैं, बट आई एम गिविंग ए पर्सपेक्टिव एज ए डॉक्टर, राइट। जो भी एनर्जी आती है, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड, जैसे मेरे पहले स्पीकर ने बोला था, इट इज़ एन एनर्जी। जब भी एक एनर्जी हमारे बॉडी को टच करती है तो कुछ ना कुछ अफेक्ट करती ही है और छोड़ के जाती है, तो हमारा बॉडी उसको रिकवर हो जाती है। तो ये प्रोसेस को अगले हम 15 मिनट में हम अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करेंगे। ये जो एनर्जी है वो काफ़ी लो एनर्जी है और काफ़ी साइंटिस्ट को ये कन्फ्यूजन होता है कि वो एनर्जी कहाँ जा रही है। तो कहीं नहीं जाता है, वो बॉडी में जाता है, एक छोटी सी इफेक्ट को पैदा करते हैं। जैसे आप रोशनी को देखते हैं तो आंखों में रॉड्स एंड कोन्स करके कुछ चीज़ें होती है जहाँ पे स्टिमुलेट होती है एंड यू विल बी एबल टू सी द थिंग्स। जब आवाज़ सुनते हैं तो ईयर्स के अंदर कुछ सेल्स वाइब्रेट होते हैं जिसकी वजह से आप सुन पाते हैं। किसी को टच करते हैं, देयर इज सम इम्पल्सेस दैट विल बी जनरेटेड, जिसको आपको लगता है कि हम महसूस करते हैं चीज़ों को। ये सारी चीज़ों को हम बायोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट्स बोलते हैं। अगर वही चीज़ बॉडी में किसी नुकसान को पहुंचाती है उसको हम हेल्थ हैजार्ड बोलते हैं। गर्म चीज़ को छू लिया, दैट्स ओके, थोड़ी देर के बाद ठीक हो जाती है। एकदम उबलते हुआ पानी में हाथ रख लिए, 10 मिनट रुक लिए तो हाथ जल जाती है, दैट्स हेल्थ हैजार्ड। ये दोनों के बीच में जो अंतर को समझने में जिसको तकलीफ होती है उन सभी को ईएमएफ हानिकारक नजर आती है। दैट इज नॉट एक्चुअली हार्मफुल। बिकॉज ऑफ द लो एनर्जी, साइंटिस्ट ने काफ़ी रिसर्च करके कुछ बायोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट से करके बोल रहे थे, तो उससे हेल्थ हैजार्ड से काफ़ी कंफ्यूज हो रहे थे। तो लेट मी क्लैरिफाई, बायोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट्स आर दोज थिंग्स दैट विल बी देयर इन ईच एंड एवरी लिविंग बीइंग whenever there is a impulse, and health hazard is one thing once it damages the things. तो आगे की हम एविडेंस जब देखेंगे इन दोनों के बीच में फ़र्क पता करके उसके बाद आगे जाएंगे, राइट। सो जो भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड बॉडी के अंदर एनर्जी आती है तो एनर्जी इज कंजर्व्ड, जब फिजिक्स की प्रिंसिपल्स है। तो आइदर इट हैज़ टू गेट कन्वर्टेड इनटू हीट, व्हाट वी कॉल एज ए थर्मल इफेक्ट, या बिना हीट का कन्वर्ट करके बॉडी में कुछ इफेक्ट को पैदा करना चाहिए। ये ही दो चीज़ें जो दुनिया भर ने माना और इसके सिवा तीसरा कोई रास्ता नहीं है जो हमारे बॉडी का एवर इफेक्ट कर सकती है। तो उन दोनों को असस का हम पता करने के लिए कोशिश करेंगे। इट इज़ नॉट लाइक ए ओवन। जैसे इतना बड़ा रूम है, इतना बड़ा रूम को ओवन बनाना इज इम्पॉसिबल बिकॉज देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट कैन हैपन, बट एक छोटी सी चीज़ को हम बना सकते हैं। These EMF जो भी नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट में रहती है, they produce a lot of vibrations and they have more space to vibrate, so they cannot get concentrated. जैसे बोलते हैं मैग्नीफाइंग लेंस को नीचे रख के, सूरज के नीचे रख के एकदम जल जाती है, ऐसे नहीं होता है। बिकॉज इट्स ए ओपन एनवायरनमेंट, they spread across uniformly, that is the reason why they cannot focus themselves to cause a effect. तो EMF का जो भी effects हम एक्सपेरिमेंटल मॉडल्स में देखते हैं, जो भी फोकस्ड इफेक्ट्स हैं उसको एक ओपन रूम और नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट के इफेक्ट से कंफ्यूज होना नहीं चाहिए। दीज आर द 3 इंट्रोडक्टरी पॉइंट्स बेस्ड अपॉन विच आई विल बी कंटिन्यूइंग माय दिस थिंग्स। जो भी थर्मल इफेक्ट्स हैं वो क्या होता है कि अगर आप मोबाइल फोन थोड़ी देर अगर बात कर लेंगे तो कान गर्म हो जाती है, तो क्या करेंगे आप दूसरे कान पे लगा देते हैं। ये नेचुरल प्रोडक्टिव मैकेनिज्म है। इफ योर बॉडी इज एक्सपोज टू मोर देन 42 डिग्रीज फॉर ए पीरियड ऑफ मोर देन 15 मिनट्स, देन इट कैन डैमेज यू। बट 42 डिग्रीज के ऊपर आप रख नहीं सकते वो 15 मिनट, तो तुरंत क्या करते हो दूसरे कार पे लगा देते हो। सो यू आर नेचुरली प्रोटेक्टिंग योर सेल्फ फ्रॉम द नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स ऑफ द थर्मल इफेक्ट्स ऑफ द EMF। अगर 15 मिनट के ऊपर भी वैसे ही एकदम बात करते रहते हो, देन इट इज नॉट गुड। you need to immediately change it to these things. So कितना एनर्जी इस तरह से कन्वर्ट होती है उसको, और वो एनर्जी कितना बॉडी में एब्जॉर्ब होती है उसको पता करने के लिए एक वैल्यू होती है जिसको बोलते हैं सार वैल्यू, SAR वैल्यू। जब भी हमारा मोबाइल सेट जो सेफ है या नहीं है करके पता करने के लिए, टेक द सेट आउट, प्रेस *#07#। अगर जो वैल्यू जो आती है उसको हम सार बोलते हैं। ये सार की इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है कि अगर SAR5 होती है 4.49, तो एक ये वाला हमेशा दिखाते हैं 5 साल की, जहाँ पे बहुत पतली सी ब्रेन होती है, तो 5 वाला सार लगाने के बाद दूसरी तरफ ब्रेन तक चली जाती है करके लोग बोलते हैं। अगर वही सार 3.2 कर दिया तो आधा को पार नहीं कर पाती है। सार 2.9 पे और भी कम हो जाते हैं, 2 पे कम से कम बोन को पार भी नहीं कर पाती है। तो एनी सार वैल्यू ऑफ लेस देन 2.5 इज सेफ, इट कैन नॉट पेनिट्रेट योर बॉडी। तो जो भी मोबाइल सेट जो है ना, जिसका सार वैल्यू 2 के ऊपर रहती है, वो सेफ नहीं है। तो जो मोबाइल सेट हमारे पास में 24 घंटा रहती है, वी शुड बी मोर केयरफुल अबाउट दैट रादर देन द टावर्स। टावर्स तो हमारे को मीटर्स एंड समटाइम्स हंड्रेड्स ऑफ मीटर्स की दूर में रहते हैं, उससे हमको कोई ज़्यादा हानि की चिंता ही नहीं है। हम सिर्फ मोबाइल सेट की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं। तो वन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, हेल्थ एस्पेक्ट हमको जो देखना चाहिए वो सार वैल्यू को रखना चाहिए। अगर वो सार वैल्यू 2 से कम बरकरार रखना चाहिए। इफ़ इट इज़ मोर देन 2, बेटर नॉट टू यूज़ इट। और दूसरी बात है कि 15 मिनट से ऊपर बात करने पे क्या करती है कि बॉडी में ब्लड जो है सर्कुलेट होती जाती है, तो जो हीट है वो खून लेके चली जाती है दूसरी जगह पे। अगर नहीं ले जा पाती है, देन देयर इज अ प्रोटीन, प्रॉब्ली इट इज मोर साइंटिफिक, जो हीट शॉक प्रोटीन बोलते हैं, जो स्टिमुलेट हो जाती है, जो बॉडी को प्रोटेक्ट करने की कोशिश करती है। अगर HSP को ज़्यादा देर छोड़ देंगे तो वो कैंसरस हो सकता है। तो जो भी एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ने किया था, वो एक ही सेल को 2-3 दिन लगातार EMF एक्सपोज करके बिना हिले, ये बोलते हैं कि इसमें HSP प्रोड्यूस हो गया, HSP आगे जाके 30 साल के बाद आपको कैंसर कर सकता है करके बोल रहे थे। बट बात यह है कि हम जब बात करेंगे तो एक ही जगह पे तो बात नहीं करते हैं, घंटों घंटों तो बात नहीं करते हैं। और दूसरी बात है कि माइन्यूट माइक्रॉन्स वेव में हम मूवमेंट करते रहते हैं, वो काफ़ी है आपको बॉडी को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए। तो चेंजिंग appropriately is important thing, and HSP induced cancers is not a scientific evidence. जब भी HSP induced के बारे में अगर आप आगे कोई भी सोचेंगे, nothing to be worried about that. अब ये सब तो हमको दिख रहा है because it is heat that is produced, हम perceive कर सकते हैं। जो बिना हीट प्रोड्यूस करके बॉडी में डैमेज कर देती है, उसके लिए काफ़ी आंदोलन है। देयर आर पीपल आर रियली वरीड अबाउट इट। तो काफ़ी लोग बोलने लगे कि अल्जाइमर्स डिसीज आती है, लोग जल्दी भूल जाते हैं, हीयरिंग इंपेयरमेंट आ जाती है, हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम आती है, इनफर्टिलिटी आ जाती है, जीनोटॉक्सिसिटी आती है, कैंसर आते हैं करके 6, 7, 8, 10 ब्लेम उसके ऊपर डाल दिए। कुछ सही है, कुछ गलत है। मैं बताता हूँ उन दोनों के बीच में डिफरेंस पता करने के लिए हमको पता करना चाहिए एसोसिएशन और कॉजेशन के बीच में डिफरेंस क्या है। साइंटिफिक रिसर्च में एक साइंटिस्ट को हमेशा ये भूल जाता है। वो एसोसिएशन का मतलब क्या होता है कि सुबह सुबह जो क्रो जब ये करते हैं तो सूरज उगता है। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि जब भी उसको आप जगा दोगे उसको मुर्गी को, वो सूरज उगता नहीं है। दैट इज एसोसिएशन। कॉजेशन का मतलब पानी को गर्म करोगे तो उबलता है, वो कॉजेशन है। तो अभी भी साइंटिफिक रिसर्च में जो भी पब्लिश होता है, अगर आप ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे, ब्रेन कैंसर इज एसोसिएटेड करके बोलते हैं, बट कॉज्ड करके कभी नहीं बोला। ये एसोसिएशन को कॉजेशन के बीच में ले जाने के लिए सारे स्टडीज फेल हो गए। तो ये एसोसिएशन वाला जो भी मिथ्स हैं उसके ऊपर ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं देना चाहिए। अगर कॉजेशन होता है तो वी शुड बी केयरफुल अबाउट दोस थिंग्स। और कॉजेशन वाला भी मैं आपको आगे बताता हूँ कौन सा कॉजेशन होता है, कौन सा एसोसिएशन होता है। और दूसरा इफेक्ट होती है नोसिबो इफेक्ट, जो हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम में काफ़ी हद तक लोग भूल गए। नोसिबो इफेक्ट को मैं एक नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में समझाता हूँ। बचपन में हम भूत के बारे में सुने होंगे ना। तो मान लो एक घर है और लोग बोलते हैं कि वहाँ पे भूत है, तो क्या लगता है वहाँ तक बराबर जाते हो, उसके बाद आपका दिल की धड़कन बढ़ जाती है, टेंशन हो जाती है। जब जैसे घर को पार कर जाओगे तो यू विल बिकम नॉर्मल। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि भूत ने आपको हार्ट को बढ़ा दिया, हार्ट रेट को बढ़ा दिया, ऐसे बात नहीं है। बात है कि आपने कुछ सोच के बैठ लिया कि वहाँ पे कुछ है, और वो सोच जो है आपको बॉडी में फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस को प्रोड्यूस कर रही है, उसको हम नोसिबो इफेक्ट बोलते हैं। तो ये नोसिबो इफेक्ट को कैसे प्रूव करते हैं? सेल टावर लगा दिया, मैंने स्विच ऑफ कर दिया और बोला भाई आप बताओ आपके बॉडी में कुछ चेंजेस है क्या? तो सारे लोग बोले हाँ सर मेरे को हेडेक होना शुरू हो गया और मेरा हार्ट रेट बढ़ गया, मेरे बीपी बढ़ गया, मेरे बाजू वाले को कैंसर हो गया। वो सेल फोन काम नहीं कर रही है, उसको स्विच ऑफ करके रखा है। तो साइंटिफिकली ये प्रूव किया है कि कुछ चीज़ है करके एक गलत फहमी, ये नोसिबो इफेक्ट की वजह से बॉडी में काफ़ी चेंजेस जो होती है उसको भी उन्होंने पॉजिटिवली प्रेजेंट कर दिया। तो ये नोसिबो इफेक्ट को जो भी स्टडीज है उसको भी अलग कर देना चाहिए। तो नोसिबो इफेक्ट, एसोसिएशन, नॉन साइंटिफिक, ये चारों को अलग से रख के उसके बाद हम साइंटिफिक के एविडेंस के बारे में आगे बढ़ेंगे। तो वी शुड फोकस ऑन ओनली दोज स्टडीज विच शोड हेल्थ हैजार्ड्स, नॉट बायोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट्स। We should focus only on those studies which has showed the causation, not the association, without nocebo effect, with thermal thermal differences. इसके बारे में हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और एविडेंस को हम एनालाइज करेंगे। अगले 5 मिनट में मैं खत्म कर दे रहा हूँ, आई विल नॉट टेक मच ऑफ योर टाइम। सेल्यूलर स्टडीज, जो सेल के अंदर होती है वो वीकेस्ट स्टडी है, और जो लोगों के बीच में होती है एपिडेमियोलॉजिकल स्टडी स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट स्टडी होती है। माइक्रोग्राम और टन के बीच में जो डिफरेंस है, इतना डिफरेंस है दोनों के बीच में। अभी भी जो भी स्टडीज हुआ है, जैसे बोला 25,000 स्टडी हुआ है, सभी का मैंने एनालाइज किया, उसको आप भी देख सकते हैं www.emf.portal.de जो ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट है वहां से एनालाइज किया हुआ है ये चीज़। दिस इज नॉट समथिंग मैं अपने से नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, सारे स्टडीज का एक ही कंक्लूजन है, देयर इज नो कॉजेशन। मैं 600-700 स्टडीज को आपको बोल के मैं ये नहीं करना चाहता हूँ। तो कंफ्यूजन किस लिए पैदा हुआ? वाई ऑल दिस कंफ्यूजन स्टार्टेड? ऑल दिस कंफ्यूजन हैज स्टार्टेड बिकॉज लोग सबसे पहले डीएनए को स्टडी किए। हाँ भाई, एक डीएनए में डैमेज हो गया, तो डीएनए में डैमेज हो गया तो म्यूटेशन होता है, म्यूटेशन से कैंसर होता है, तो ईएमएफ से कैंसर हो गया करके बोल रहे थे। बट इसके बीच में काफ़ी हर्डल्स है भाई। एक डीएनए में डैमेज जब होती है वो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन तक जाता नहीं है, इट विल रिपेयर। बॉडी विल डू 100 मिलियन डिविजन्स पर डे, मतलब 10 करोड़ डिविजन्स को 100% एक्यूरेटली करती है, और नेचुरली 100 करोड़ अबोव म्यूटेशंस होते रहते हैं जिसको हम बॉडी अपने बराबर ठीक करते रहते हैं, उसके बारे में भूल गए। और दूसरी बात है कि अगर वो गलती से आ गया तो वो टिश्यू लेवल पे रिपेयर हो जाती है, टिश्यू लेवल पे आ गया तो ऑर्गन लेवल पे डैमेज को रोक देती है, ऑर्गन लेवल पे हो गए तो टोटल ह्यूमन होलिस्टिकली वो रिपेयर कर लेती है। वो रिपेयर मैकेनिज्म को जो आपको एक्सपेरिमेंटल स्टडीज में नहीं होते हैं बट हमारे बॉडी में होती है। अगर आप हाथ को ऐसे मतलब एक टिश्यू को वहाँ पे 100 डिग्रीज पे रख सकते हो पर बॉडी भाग जाती है, बॉडी विल ऑलवेज प्रोटेक्ट इटसेल्फ। उसको वेरी सिंपल फिलॉसफी को उन्होंने भूल गया। फिर भी अभी मैं दोबारा आई एम जस्ट रिपीटिंग, रेडॉक्स पोटेंशियल्स में चेंज हुआ है वो सच है, डीएनए में डैमेज हुआ वो सच है, पर वो सारे रिपेयर हो जा रही है वो किसी ने बोला नहीं है। और मेटा एनालिसिस किए थे 13 स्टडीज, 8,800 केसेस, 12 केस कंट्रोल स्टडीज, एसोसिएशन वाज सीन बट नो कॉजेशन। दैट्स द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। अब बात है कि कैंसर को क्या कॉज करती है। लेट्स फोकस ऑन कैंसर बिकॉज आई एम एन ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट। आप देख रहे हैं ग्राफ में येलो कलर में जो दिख रही है, 35% ऑफ द कैंसर्स आर कॉज्ड बाय फूड वी ईट टुडे, 30% आर कॉज्ड बाय टोबैको, 66% कैंसर्स हमारा हाथ से खुद हम खरीद रहे हैं। वी आर ईटिंग मल्टीपल I can say junk foods, rich in fat, low in fibers. जितना खराब खाना है उतना खराब खा रहे हैं, infected with the pesticides. We are not bothered about it. और रेडिएशन एज ए कॉज ऑफ कैंसर कितना है? लेस देन 1%। वो भी थेरेपेटिक रेडिएशन, मतलब जो रेडियोथेरेपी कैंसर के लिए देते हैं ना, उसके वजह से सेकेंडरी कैंसर ईएमएफ में जीरो, नॉट इवन 0.1%। अब रही वायरसेस, ह्यूमन पैपिलोमा वायरस, सर्वाइकल कैंसर, हेपेटाइटिस बी, लिवर कैंसर, सभी के बारे में भूल जा रहे हैं भाई। कैंसर के बारे में जो मेन कारण है ना, जो 75% कारण, वो हमारे हाथ में है। अवे फ्रॉम टोबैको, हैव हेल्दी डाइट, immunize against the viruses, keep away from the alcohol. So 75%, 30 plus 35 plus 7 plus 3, 35% of the 75% of the cases are covered. बाकी 25% हमारे हाथ में नहीं रहती है, जो जेनेटिक और आदर कारण होती है. अब रही EMF कौन सा कैटेगरी में है? EMF कैटेगरी 2B में है. कैंसर के रीजंस में अगर आप यहाँ पे देखेंगे नीचे वाला सर्किल में, और उसी कैटेगरी में और कौन कौन सा है? कॉफी जो हम डेली पीते हैं, और ड्राई क्लीनर्स, फायर फाइटर्स, पिकल्स जो रोज खाते हैं, ये सारे उसी कैटेगरी में. इसका मतलब है कि एसोसिएशन है पर कॉजेशन नहीं है. तो योर मोबाइल फोन इज एज रिस्की एज योर कॉफी इन कॉजिंग द कैंसर. सो यू नीड नॉट वरी अबाउट द कैंसरस इफेक्ट ऑफ योर मोबाइल रेडिएशन और द EMF. और ये लोग नहीं कहते हैं, एम्स खुद अपने उसको ऊपर सेल टावर्स लगा के रखा है, जहां से मैंने पढ़ा है. और लास्ट 3 थिंग्स, इनफर्टिलिटी, पॉकेट, लोअर पॉकेट की जेब में अंदर रखेंगे तो इनफर्टिलिटी आ जाते करके लोग बोलते हैं. दैट इज ऑल्सो ए फैक्ट विच इज अगेन एन ऑब्जर्वेशन विच इज नॉट ए कॉजेशन. क्या है कि एक टेक्नोलॉजी की बैकग्राउंड बता रहा हूं मैं. 10 years ago जहां पे लैपटॉप्स आए थे तभी सेलफोन्स भी आए हैं. और हमारे बॉडी के अंदर टेस्टिकल्स जो है बॉडी के बाहर रहते हैं, बिकॉज टेस्टिकल्स कैन नॉट फंक्शन एट ए बॉडी टेम्परेचर. उसके लिए थोड़ा सा कम टेम्परेचर होना चाहिए. तो जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल गर्ल्स जो बैठ के लैब के अंदर जो लैपटॉप बैठ के काम करते हैं ना, तो ऑल द हीट इज गेटिंग जनरेटेड. तो द स्पर्म काउंट हैज गॉन डाउन इन दोज टेकी गाइस. तो वो सोच रहे कि मोबाइल जेब के अंदर रखने से हुआ करके सोच रहे थे, बट इट इज नॉट द लैपटॉप इंड्यूस्ड हीट दैट रिड्यूस द स्पर्म काउंट. वो बाद में पता चला हमको, बट ये वाला मिसकंसेप्शन कंटिन्यू होते गया. सो स्पर्म काउंट रिडक्शन associated with the technical guys who keep the mobiles in the pocket is not because of the mobile, rather it is because of use of laptops on their laps. If it is used on their desk, nothing will go wrong. Children, genuine concern. इसके बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा और टाइम स्पेंड करना चाहता हूँ. Majority of the autocentric behavior, autistic behavior, ये जो भी होती है ना, that is because you don't interact with the humans, you interact with a non-living being, जिसके वजह से आपका mental changes आ रहे हैं next generations में. That is because of the gadget, not because of the EMF. So one of the precautions that I always give my the people who are public is mobile phone का, और forget about mobile phone, any gadgets को बच्चों को at least 8 to 10 years तक दूर रखिएगा. Tell them, but use it very judiciously, otherwise it is going to have a very immense mental impact which is impossible to correct in the long run. जो बचपन में जो पैदा होते हैं ना, that is the best way of growth. So that is actually has to be taken care. और मोबी किड्स के बारे में हो रहे हैं, EMF के तो कोई इफेक्ट नहीं पड़ा, बट गैजेट्स का इफेक्ट को दिख रही है. सो आई एम नॉट टेलिंग दैट दे आर सेफ, बट यू शुड यूज इट कॉशियसली. काफ़ी और सवालें हैं, प्रॉब्लम क्वेश्चन आंसर सेक्शन में हम बात करेंगे. सेव मोबाइल टावर के सामने से रखना सेफ तो है ही है, वल्नरेबल कोई नहीं रहता. अब एक और सवाल पूछते हैं, हॉस्पिटल में क्यों मोबाइल लाने नहीं देते रहे? भाई क्या है कि हम मॉनिटर्स में देखते रहते हैं, थोड़ा सा डिस्टर्बेंस आ गया हम तो सोचेंगे हार्ट अटैक आ गया. वो जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड आती है तो कर 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 आवाज़ आती है ना रेडियो में, वैसे एकदम वहाँ पे सेंसिटिव इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स रहते हैं, इसीलिए हम लोग मोबाइल्स को यहाँ पे अलाउ नहीं करते. इट इज़ नॉट दैट EMF इज़ अनसेफ करके नहीं है, प्रेगनेंट्स में भी सेफ है करके मालूम चला. दैट इज़ नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम, एंड दैट्स व्हाट is from my end, and I thank you for the attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Atali, for addressing so many myths related to EMF emissions and their health impact. I would now like to call upon Mr. Ram Narayan, Senior DDG Term DOT, to kindly address the gathering on the EMF emission norms and compliance. Mr. Ram Narayan is an ITS officer of the 1979 batch and is right now the Senior Deputy Director General Term DOT, Government of India. In this capacity, he is responsible for evolving, monitoring and enforcement of licensing terms and conditions, including security-related instructions by telecom service providers throughout the country. In his 35-year career, he has worked in different functional areas of telecom, namely network security, vigilance, R&D coordination, planning, operations and maintenance, administration and project management, amongst others. He is also a prolific writer who has written many books on various subjects. He is an electrical engineer and also holds an MBA. Over to Mr. Ramnarayan.
Respected Telecom Secretary Sri J.S. Deepak, Member Technology Mr. G.K. Upadhyay, Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, Mr. Suresh Atali Dayas, T.V. Ramachandran, all the senior officers from the state governments, my friends, colleagues from DOT, and the vulnerable citizens of this beautiful rock city of Chandigarh, who are the purpose for us to be here this morning. After enjoying the lucid presentations of three stalwarts of the industry, one, Secretary Telecom, who has given the overall perspective of the telecom development, Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, who told about the standards and the procedures adopted for EMF radiation, and Suresh Atali, who has given about the medical, on the medical science, on the EMF issue. My presentation would be short of dal roti kind of presentation. I hope, like in line with the trends of modern marriage parties, you will like it. If you look around, we will find life is full of contradictions. Right in the morning when we get up, sometime there is a contradiction. Should we go for a walk in the morning, or shall I have a half an hour extra sleep and relax? Shall I go to office or shall I not? If I venture out, there is a chance that I may come across an accident, but then you have to go to office. Shall I take my family for a picnic in a car or not? If I take out, then there is a pollution. Pollution is getting created. I am exposing my family to the pollution. If I don't take, my children will feel bad about it. And lastly, mother of all, should I marry or not? Everyone wonders, should I marry or not? But human ingenuity is such, we are able to balance all these contradictions and take the right decisions, which lead us to the path of progress. Most of us, we don't continue to sleep. We go for morning walk. Most of us, we go to office. We don't bother about the accident. Most of us take our families out, isn't it? And most of us land marrying, isn't it? In spite of the fact, maybe later on we'll repent. But we enjoy it. So, in these contradictions, we are able to take the right decisions. And probably the subject of today, also we are on a crossroad, whether we do it or not. So, right answers comes from the issues. We mitigate the concerns. We address those issues in all these contradictions, and we take the decisions where it leads us to progress. In case of the EMF, our stalwart people before, they have already stated that EMF is safe, but let us see how scientifically we are going about it. So what are the issues today? Whether we need mobile communication in the modern times, it has been answered in the morning by Secretary Telecom. Yes, we need mobile. what are the benefits of mobile phones? Mobile phone is helping us in making digital India. It is cutting down cost. It is increasing our GDP. And we cannot live without it. What can be perceived concerns of using mobile phones? So perceived concern is it may damage our health and it can create infertility. These are the perceived concerns. And what can be done to address and mitigate the concerns arising out of the use of mobile phones? So what are these? So as I stated, we are always in contradiction. The question is whether we are able to mitigate and address those concerns, whatever are there, and take the right decisions which lead us, which can take us to the path of progress. So that is what I am going to talk. What can be done in a concern for mitigating? First is, in a scientific way, we can set standards for everything. As we know, for everything we have standards. For food articles, the standards are there, so much calories you should take, so much vitamin D should be there, so much vitamin E should be there. For everything there are standards. So first we set standards in a scientific terms, then we follow standards. So we decide that we must follow standards. Then we create an assurance mechanism that whatever the standards are there, whether people are following it or not. And then we create deterrent that if somebody is not following it, what are deterrent we create it. So that is a framework for addressing and mitigating the concern. This framework is by and large a universal kind of framework for every concern, but it is applicable on the EMF radiation also. Our doubts. Do we have standards? So in public mind, the question comes, do we have standards? It comes to our mind, do we follow standards? Do we have a system of assurance? Do we have a capacity to deliver on assurance? Do we have deterrent? So these are the 5 questions mostly. If there is any other question, we can address that as well. Do we have standards? Now I want to have a kind of survey, because so do we have standards? How many of us sitting in the hall who are from the general public, vulnerable citizens, how many of them are aware that do we have standards? So raise hands. Do we have standards? Are you aware about it? So I can see only 5-10 people are. Not many people are aware that we have the standards. So if we know about the standards, then our issues will be addressed. So the answer is we have standards. There are standards. We do have standards which are 10 times more stringent than internationally recognized standards, as has been talked in the morning and again restated. Do we follow standards? So same question comes. Do we follow standards? So how many are we aware that we follow standards? Kindly raise hands. So again, very few. So now the answer is, the standards are followed for all towers. And how are they followed? Self-certificate with detailed calculation showing that the tower meets the standard is submitted by the TSP before a tower starts radiating. So for every tower, standards are followed religiously. Do we have a system of assurance? Yes, we do have a system of assurance. Up to 10% of the towers are tested by DOT term cells. 10%, some people say 10%. 10% is a very high sample size for almost 100% confidence level as per risk management system. You go to any statistical analysis, say all the poll surveys we are conducting, the sample size is 0.001% kind of sample size is there. 1 out of 1,000 is a very, very high sample size. Here we are having 10% sample size. So this sample size is 99.999 kind of confidence level is there. So this sample size is very high sample size for doing an assurance. Do we have capacity to deliver on the assurance? Yes, we have adequate capacity to deliver on the assurance. We have 34 term cells across India for monitoring and security and vigilance related activities. So not only EMF, all areas of the security and license compliance are looked after by these 34 term cells. There are around 400 officers posted in these term cells who are discharging these functions, as was stated in the morning by the secretary. So if any complaint is there, those term cells, they check those towers as well. Incidentally, the term cells, they check up the EMF. They are not only for this. There are other rules. They carry out the audit of the term cells for EMF. They carry out the audit of the certification. They carry out the random physical audit of sites. They address the complaints from public and levy penalty in case of non-compliant. So these are the broad functions of the term cells in relation to the EMF. Besides the EMF related activities, and these are the 34 term cells, just 34 term cells, they are just given. In almost all LSAs and in major cities, there is a presence of term cells. Besides EMF, they carry out certain other roles also. Verification of customer acquisition forms, checking of service rollout obligation, busting of grey market operation, liaising with security agencies in security related matters, handling of public grievances, inspection of telecom service provider, helping restoration of telecom network during natural disasters, enforcement of license conditions by TSP, checking of network coverage in rural areas. So they are the facilitator for the development of the telecom in field and for assuring the security conditions are followed by the telecom service provider and safety conditions, license conditions like EMF testing, they are followed by all telecom service provider religiously. EMF safety, it is not only for one technology, it is for all kind of technology, whether it's 2G, 3G, 4G, CDMA, 5G, because all technologies, they radiate, and the radiation level from all of those technologies are combined and they are measured. So whether it is 900, 1800, 2000 or whatever is there. So, and the process is in place to ensure adherence to the prescribed standards, and the strength of EMF is expressed as F by 2000 watts per square meter. F is the frequency at which the tower radiates. Suppose a tower is radiating at 1800 frequency, then 1800 divided by 2000, so then it comes 0.9 watt per square meter. So that is the standard followed. Whereas the international standard in ICNIP is F by 200. So our standard is 10 times more stringent than the ICNIP standard. And most of the countries, they follow ICNIP standards. Majority of the countries, in fact, follow ICNIP standards, which is F by 200. We are following F by 2000 standard. So there is an adequate safety margin in Indian standards. So what is the overall mechanism to ensure EMF compliance by the term cells? So the detailed process with maximum power for radiations have been prescribed to operate a base station on a tower. So this prescription has been done by a specialized agencies in DOT. It is called Telecom Engineering Center. So Telecom Engineering Center has prescribed those standards, and they have given a detailed process how this should be measured and how it should be calculated. Then the operators are required to submit certification of adherence to these prescribed norms with detailed data and calculations. And this data and calculations has to be done as prescribed by the TEC. They are not doing, sometime the apprehension is there, the telecom service providers are doing the calculation at their own, or they are measuring in their own way. No, it is not, they cannot do it their own way. There is a definite prescribed standards by Telecom Engineering Center, which is a technical body of the DOT. Then the term cells check the compliance by on-site sample testing, as I showed 10% of the sample testing. And you can see it is not done by one organization. One organization and check and balance is there. That standards are set by somebody, then the radiation is, towers are installed by the telecom service providers, then they do all the calculations, and then the term cells, which is another agency, they check up the standards. The term cells check compliance by on-site sample testing. And no commercial launch is possible before a proper certification is given by the telecom service provider. Penalty is there on non-compliant sites and closure of sites that do not meet the prescribed EMF norms. So there is end-to-end process described and followed for EMF radiation. And probably India will be maybe few countries which has such a detailed process of prescribing the EMF standards and ensuring that those EMF radiation norms are followed. So the term audit process consists of, they audit the certification document submitted by the TSPs, they audit the actual EMF level measurement on ground by going on the site, and the audit of site against all complaints is done by the term cells of DOT. By the way, I have been using term cell. Term means Telecom Enforcement Resource and Monitoring Cell. The field measurement method, again, as described by the TEC, is like this. The broadband measurement ensures that the signal power from all towers should not exceed the limit prescribed. So it is not against one frequency, 900 frequency, or 700 frequency, or 800, 1800. It is whatever the radiation is coming from all kind of the frequencies. So it is taken into account in this maximum limit of 1 watt per square meter. Now, in the beginning, I had asked 5 questions. 4 I had answered, and 5th answer was, 5th I had deferred, that do we have a deterrent? Although in between we have stated that penalties are imposed, but what is the quantum of those penalties? What is the deterrent? So yes, we do have a deterrent, and in case of non-compliance, all operators emanating signals are penalized. And the cumulative effect of multiple towers in one area should not exceed the EMF limit. And this penalty is not a small amount of 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. It is a penalty of 10 lakh rupees per operator and per BTS. If on a particular tower, if 5 BTSs are there, the penalty is not 10 lakh rupees, the penalty will be 50 lakh rupees. By the way, the cost of construction of a tower is far less than 50 lakh rupees. So that is such a deterrent, heavy deterrent, no one can venture to exceed the tower limits. And in case, by chance, if it is found, then the tower has to be brought within the norms, and if it is not brought within the norms in a month's time, then it has to be shut down. They have to forego their whatever investment has been made of 50 lakh rupees or 70 lakh rupees on that tower construction. So that is the kind of the penalty imposed. And so far, whatever the towers have been found to be non-compliant, they have been made compliant, and a penalty of around 11 crore rupees has already been imposed on this account on the telecom service providers. So coming to what is the, say question comes, okay, how many towers are tested, how many towers are there? So on all over India, as stated in the morning, we have got around 12.5 lakh BTSs and around 4 lakh towers, and out of these 3 lakh 30,000 towers have been tested by the term cells. By the way, 3 lakh 30,000 testing of a tower is a huge task which has been accomplished by the term cells. And this year alone, around 40,000 towers have been tested, only up to in 2015-16 till 31st August 2016. And in Punjab and Haryana also, you can see number of the towers have been tested. So far in Punjab, 10,000 towers have been tested, and Haryana 9,000 towers have been tested, and so this is the statistics. And number of the non-compliant towers across India is 212. Fortunately, in Punjab and Haryana, no tower has been found to be non-compliant this year, and only one tower has been found non-compliant in Haryana so far, and which has also been brought to the compliance status. Now, there is no non-compliant towers. So, as you can see, so a complete ecosystem is there of assuring that we are safe. So, there is, to summarize it, you can see there is establishment of the norms and standards, there is a standard monitoring process, there is an assurance mechanism, and there is monitoring and enforcement, and it is being done by all the specialized agencies, and norms are established by TEC, policies are made by DOT, and assurance is done by the term cells of which are the field units of the DOT. So there is a complete ecosystem which is available on EMF, and I don't think in the other industry or in any other service sector, such a comprehensive framework would be there of assurance mechanism where it is ensured that the norms are followed and the standards are safe. So that is what is done. So the term cells are committed and fully geared up to ensure compliance of guidelines designed for safeguard of our citizens. So if there is any complaint, if you have any doubt, you can always approach the local officer here. They are available in Chandigarh. Mr. R.P. Singhal is there. He is DDG. His email is given. Mr. V.K. Ahuja is there in Haryana, and Chokar is in Delhi and NCR region, because NCR, Gurgaon and other comes under Delhi regions. So these officers are available, so you can always approach them. So we can assure you, you are in safe hands, and the technology is quite safe, and we can be assured about it. So like you have given us the hospitality of your city, we can assure you that we give you the safety from the EMF radiation norms, and we are committed for the development of the telecom, which is a way forward for the progress of the country and making India a digitally enabled country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for shedding light on the regulations and the norms around EMF emissions in India. I would now request the expert panel to kindly take their seats on the dais for the Q&A session. I would like to first of all welcome Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary DOT, onto the dais, please. Followed by Shri G.K. Upadhyay, Member T, DOT. As 1978 batch ITS officer, Shri G.K. Upadhyay is the Member Technology, Department of Telecommunications. After completion of his probation period, Mr. Upadhyay had joined the UP Circle and worked in various capacities at Kanpur, Allahabad and Lucknow district from 1982 to 1997, after which he went to the Telecommunications Consultants India Limited, TCIL, on deputation for 5 years and worked as a project director for Botswana, South Africa and the Sultanate of Oman. A BTech graduate from IIT Roorkee, Shri Upadhyay has held positions like General Manager Telecom for Godhra, Gujarat, Ghaziabad, Meerut and Mizoram. He has also served as the Chief General Manager, Haryana, from June 2012 to March 2015, and the Chief General Manager for Maharashtra in Mumbai from March 2015 to August 2016. I would also like to welcome on the dais Shri Ram Narayan, Senior DDG Term, DOT, Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, DDG CS, DOT, Dr. Tushar Kant Joshi, an advisor to the Health Minister, Government of India. Dr. Joshi was the former head of the Occupational and Environmental Medicine program at the Center for Occupational Environment Health at the Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi. He is a visiting professor at the Occupational Health to Drexel University School of Public Health in Philadelphia. The Royal College of Physicians, London, has conferred on him a fellowship of Faculty of Occupational Medicine. Recently, Johnson & Matthey, the platinum giant, has chosen him as one of its 4 global advisors on occupational health. He was also appointed the technical advisor to the regional director, WHO, on chemical safety for the South Asian region. He was the only Indian invited for the UN meeting on chemical safety held in Geneva. He is now appointed an expert by the Honorable Supreme Court for the state of Rajasthan to study the mining sector health. I would also like to call upon the dais Dr. Arun Chaugule, Senior Professor and Head of the Department of Radiological Physics and the Radiation Safety Officer for SMS Medical College, Jaipur. He has 33 years of experience in teaching and research. He is presently the President of the Radiophysicists Association and the Vice President of the Asia-Oceania Radiation Physicists Association. And also Dr. Suresh Attali from the Grace Cancer Foundation and Dr. Ranjan Kumar Malik, an esteemed professor from the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Delhi. He has also been a member of the Allahabad High Court appointed expert committee on EMF and its health aspects. We welcome our expert panel for the day, and we now throw open the floor for questions from the audience.
Sir, with the permission of Chair, can I make a small comment? Shri J.S. Deepak and my distinguished colleagues on the dais and distinguished audience, I should point out that one of the very important public health aspect of the mobile telephone has not been talked about since morning, which makes a mobile phone the biggest health hazard. And that is not the mobile phone per se that it is a hazard. It is your behavior which is a hazard. And that is, that is when you are driving and using mobile phone. In many of the countries of the world, 10% deaths, road traffic accidents have only occurred because of the use of mobile phone while driving. And there are very heavy penalties imposed if you are caught talking while driving on your mobile phone. So please, for God's sake, never ever use mobile phone while you're driving. And don't let your driver use mobile phone because they're in a habit. Secondly, there have been many deaths while coming down the stairs and texting. That's another major hazard you have to remember. And thirdly, I think only one issue that has not been touched upon is electrical hypersensitivity. That is an issue which has been examined by WHO because initially when these towers were created, there were many complaints from the public that they can some kind of hypersensitivity or allergy. Now that issue has been closely examined by WHO and found that there is no association between these towers and electrical hypersensitivity. Thank you very much, sir.
At the back, can you please send the mic for that question?
Hello.
Myself, one question. Hello.
Hello.
And there is lack of coordination between the departments. If somebody install tower and Walla says radiation and cancer is there, tower has been installed by duly approved by the government of India. Walla says that this is it is creating cancer.
Who says?
Municipal corporation came and threw out the tower. There is no coordination between the departments to tell the people that it has been installed, given approved by the government. No, nobody bothers. Police came, municipal corporation came and threw out the tower. What action you will take on it? How you will take coordination between departments? There is no coordination between the departments. One installed it, other remove it. How you will tackle this?
That's a very interesting point. It's a fact that coordination between government departments, especially departments of the government of India and the state government, is important, as this is related to scarce and valuable resource. The purpose of having a workshop of this kind is to share the message from various experts, different kinds of experts, radiology experts, medical experts, technology experts and others, that this technology is safe, towers fulfill an essential purpose, and there need not be any fear that towers, mobile towers, can result in health hazards. This is the message which needs to permeate all departments and which will be the step for them to act in coordination. And that is what we are trying to attempt. It's a long way to go, and we hope for the support of different stakeholders, including those present in this hall, to take this forward.
Firstly, I'll introduce myself. I am Major D.S. Sadhu. I am a councillor with the Municipal Corporation of Chandigarh. So my query is, there is a lot of competition between the various companies to install the telecom towers wherever they could do. And in the residential areas, whenever it is installed, there is a lot of hue and cry from the residents. They get panicky. Now, we do not know whether it is within the norms or not. As per Mr. Ramnaran's brought out version, there are about 12 lakh pending cases, and out of that only 3 lakh have been covered. And the rate is, during this current year, only 40,000 could be checked whether they are within the norms or not. So that means if you check only 50,000 or 60,000 per year, how many years will be taken to know that all these installed so far are checked and they are within the prescribed limits. And by the time you check these, the figures may further increase. I think there is a requirement that the pace of checking should be increased so that as soon as these are installed, within a possible minimum time, it should be checked, either penalized or approved. So this is my version. This aspect may kindly be looked into. Thank you.
Should I respond?
Thank you very much for the question. In my presentation, what I stated is that the 10% of the towers are tested every year, and this is only a sample test which is physically conducted. But the core point is that the rest of the towers, every tower before it starts radiating, it has to comply to the norms. So it is not only 10%. 10% is the second test. In the first test, every tower before it starts radiating, it has to comply with. And a certificate has to be given that it complies with. So therefore, all towers which are radiating today are compliant with the EMF norms. 100% of the towers. It is only as a matter of double check that the testing is done. And that also, as I stated, 10% is a very, very high sample size for that confidence level to build, and then heavy penalties are imposed so that the people, even the dreams cannot think of putting a tower which does not comply with the norms. So all 100%.
Just to let me add to what Mr. Narmarayan said, this is a risk management system. There's certification by the company which installs the tower, and a sample is tested, and it is a huge sample. Many of you must be following the debate, the US election. There are lots of surveys being done whether Hillary Clinton will win or whether Donald Trump will win. The sample size they use is about 1,000 to 2,000. That is the sample size they use to check and to estimate how the 180 million voters out of a 300 million population in the US are likely to vote. So the theory of statistics says that if you do the sampling right, a small sample can reflect the population, and the sample that we have designed is a huge sample. So statistically, it is more than adequate to reflect the actual position. If our sample is showing that 0.01%, 0.016% of towers were found to be non-compliant, it reflects the total population of existing towers. Yeah, perhaps you have come to the workshop and you were not there in the first session, or were you there? Have you been there in the first session of the workshop in the morning? Yeah, so that is because this issue has been mentioned, reinforced, reiterated by many speakers, and including in my presentation in the first session, we had made it. Telecom tower anywhere The scientific evidence is that telecom tower anywhere, in residential premises, in school campuses, in college campuses, is safe everywhere. This is what the tests are proving. Secondly, if you want connectivity in residential areas, in your homes, mobile towers is a necessary infrastructure that has to be put. I mentioned in the morning, if you want 24/7 water supply, you need to have an overhead tank. Similarly, if you want 24/7 mobile voice and data connectivity, you need to have a telecom tower. And there's no need. It is for people like us, you and us, to educate people, and I hope one of the objectives of this workshop is to carry this message across to resident welfare associations, citizens, residents, people who may have a wrong or a misconceived idea regarding this issue.
Sir?
देखिए, जब ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने टावर्स की स्टैंडर्ड को 1/10 किया, तो WHO हेडक्वार्टर से उनके जो चीफ एक्सपर्ट थे वो यहाँ इंडिया आए और उन्होंने कहा कि साहब इसकी वजह से ये होगा कि मोबाइल के यूज़ से रेडिएशन बढ़ जाएगा। आपकी सूचना के लिए आपके जो लोगों को ये समझाएं आप चूँकि लोगों से आपका इंटरेक्शन है कि घर में जो टीवी सेट है या घर में जो और वॉशिंग मशीन है वो एक टावर के मुकाबले में कम से कम 6-7 गुना रेडिएशन देती है। तो उससे आप समझ लीजिए, तो क्या आप अपना घर में टीवी निकाल देंगे, अपने घर से कुकिंग रेंज निकाल देंगे या अपने घर से वॉशिंग मशीन निकाल देंगे? ये समझना, ये एक परसेप्शन की बात है। डॉक्टर अतिल ने इस चीज़ को बताया कि ये परसेप्शन है, उस परसेप्शन को बदलने के लिए ही ये वर्कशॉप है कि जो मोबाइल टावर्स हैं उनसे किसी तरह का हार्म नहीं है। और अगर 25,000 इस पर शोध हो चुके हैं तो उसके बाद तो मैं समझता हूँ ये सारी चीज़ों को हमें बरी कर देना चाहिए। थैंक यू
सर। माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट कि जो हमारी पॉश फैकल्टी है वहाँ भी लोग ऑब्जेक्ट करते हैं कि टावर नहीं होने चाहिए। इन्हें 5 स्टार होटल ललित में जैसे हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस की आप लोगों ने, ऐसे आप और कहाँ कर सकते हैं कि लोगों को ये पता लगे कि टावर के साइड इफेक्ट कितने हैं या नहीं हैं? पढ़े लिखे लोग भी ऑब्जेक्ट करते हैं टावर, वाई? सो आपको यहाँ हम लोग आए हैं, कितने लोग आए, उतने कितने लोग होंगे चंडीगढ़ में? 12-14 लाख तो होंगे ना, 12+। सो बीइंग एन एक्स मेयर मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि ऐसे ऐसे सेमिनार्स आप हर लोकेलिटी के बीच में कराएं, तो लोगों को उसके लिए ये बताएं कि इसके क्या है या नहीं है।
बहुत अच्छा सुझाव है। हम चाहेंगे कि इस प्रकार की वर्कशॉप स्टेट हेडक्वार्टर पे ही ना हो, डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर पे हो, लोकेलिटीज़ में हो, लेकिन आप सहमत होंगे कि रिसोर्सेज की शॉर्टेज है। तो हमारा पर्पस ये है कि आपके माध्यम से आप लोग जो सिटीजन्स हैं, आप जो यहाँ पे आए हैं, आपने अपना समय दिया, यहाँ पे हाजिर हुए, यहाँ सुना, अगर आप कन्विंस्ड हो जाते हैं तो अपने नेबर्स को, अपने फ्रेंड्स को ये मैसेज ज़रूर दीजिए। दूसरा, यहाँ पे बड़ी संख्या में मीडिया के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स प्रेजेंट हैं। हम उनके माध्यम से उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये मैसेज जो लोग इस हॉल में उपस्थित नहीं हैं, यहाँ तो सीमित संख्या में लोग आ सकते हैं, उनको भी मैसेज पहुँचेगा। लेकिन आपका सुझाव बिल्कुल ठीक है। हम अन्य लेवल्स पे इसको, ये एक पहली वर्कशॉप है चंडीगढ़ में, ये आखिरी वर्कशॉप नहीं होगी, और विभिन्न लेवल्स पे अपने टर्म सेल्स के माध्यम से इसकी जानकारी उपलब्ध कराने का प्रयास करेंगे और इसकी एक कार्य योजना बना के शीघ्र ही शेयर करेंगे आपके साथ। नहीं, और एक्सपर्ट के माध्यम से कहने की दूसरी बात होती है। तो आपका सुझाव सही है, इसको आगे ले जाएंगे। सबके साथ नहीं कर सकते, रिसोर्सेज की शॉर्टेज है, लेकिन आगे से बढ़ें। उनका भी, वहाँ के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स तमाम हैं, वो भी सुन रहे हैं। संभवतः ये मैसेज उनके माध्यम से भी आगे जाएगा। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपके सुझावों का, इस पे अमल करने का प्रयास किया जाएगा।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर, मैं श्रेया मनास मोहाली से। मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर कि क्या ज़्यादा नुकसानदायी है, जो रेडिएशन मोबाइल फ़ोन से आते हैं या मोबाइल टावर से जो आते हैं?
दोनों नहीं है। इफ़ यू हैव टू कंपेयर बिटवीन दीज टू थिंग्स, मोबाइल फोन बिकॉज concentrates and it is near to your body. And that's the reason why in the beginning of my talk I told clearly that you should understand more clearly about the human physiology of the interaction of the mobile phone with your body than the towers. Towers are much more safer than the phones. You should be careful with the phones. जैसे मिश्रा सर ने बताए थे, phones are more dangerous because they deviate and divert your attention. That's a major danger. Second thing is less dangerous thing is the
और सिग्नल जब पुअर है तब आपका जो मोबाइल है वो ज़्यादा एनर्जी रिलीज करता है और बॉडी के क्लोज है। तब जब सिग्नल कम है तो कम से कम यूज करने की कोशिश करें और एसएमएस यूज करें। ये नहीं कि सिग्नल नहीं आ रहा है, कट रहा है तो बार बार लगा के हम उसका ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर ले रहे हैं, ये भी ध्यान देना पड़ेगा।
थैंक यू सर।
तो जो इसका संक्षेप इन शॉर्ट, radiations from mobile towers are not harmful. We've been saying that. Mobile phones emit radiations, but there is no evidence that they are harmful, but they are more than that from mobile towers. एक study है, there's a study from the US that 97% of Americans sleep with their mobile phones. They keep it next to their pillows and sleep. And an average American touches his smartphone 1,200 times a week. I think most of us also must be near that. I don't know there's no study in India, but अगर study शायद India में कराएं तो संभवतः we will be near that figure. And this has not affected people. So there is no risk of these items. The radiation from a mobile phone or a microwave or thing is of the similar thing, but it has not been known. These are low-level electromagnetic fields which have not been proved to be harmful to human health.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is. Good afternoon, sir. My question is whether mobile phone should keep in left side pocket or right side pocket. And
again, as long as it is not emitting anything, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Second thing is, sir, we should use mobile by left side ear or right side ear.
Right. Exactly. I mean, to answer your question, the question arises when there is something that passes. अगर वो पार ही नहीं कर पाता है तो लेफ्ट और राइट के बीच में कोई फर्क नहीं है सर।
नहीं सर, generally people say कि memory and voice are right side brain.
Sir, if you are using a cell phone having a SAR value of more than 5, then all these questions arise. हमारा ये information I think the DOT will acknowledge. Nowadays, SAR is mandatory to be printed on all the cell phone sets that you are going to buy, and anything more than 2, don't buy it. First of all, in the first case, if you have it, change it. That is always safer. That is a preventive thing. If it is less than 2, it doesn't matter whether you put it on the left side or right side. It is safe.
आप कुछ कहें?
एक्चुअली जो आपका मोबाइल फ़ोन है उसका ब्रेन से कोई कनेक्शन नहीं पड़ता है। जो हीटिंग इफेक्ट है, जैसा कि डॉक्टर साहब ने पहले भी कहा, ह्यूमन टेस्टिस आर वेरी सेंसिटिव टू द राइज इन टेम्परेचर। तो पहला तो लाइटली यह है कि अगर आपके बच्चे ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं तो आप लेफ़्ट में रखिए, राइट में रखिए, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है। दूसरा ये है कि स्टील इंडस्ट्री में जहाँ की हमारे वर्कर जो हैं वो 2000 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट की फर्नेस के सामने खड़े होते हैं, वहाँ ये शोध से साबित हुआ है कि बहुत से लोग स्टेराइल इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाते हैं क्योंकि वो बहुत हाई टेम्परेचर है। मोबाइल आपके फ़ोन से इतना टेम्परेचर नहीं होता कि इवन कोई टेस्टिकुलर डैमेज किस तरह का हो सके। दूसरा एक इशू बहुत बड़ा इससे पहले हुआ था कि हमारे जो कई बहुत सारे दोस्त माइक्रोबायोलॉजिस्ट हैं, उन्होंने शोध किया है कि आपका मोबाइल फ़ोन, चूँकि आप कभी उसको मशीन में तो धोएंगे नहीं, साबुन से भी नहीं धोएंगे, तो उसमें बहुत जर्म्स इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं। और अक्सर आपने देखा होगा कि डिनर टेबल पर या खाना खाते समय लोगों की आदत है एकदम से फ़ोन निकाला और बात कर ली, तो वो इन्फेक्शस एलिमेंट उसमें है कि मोबाइल फ़ोन के में जो जर्म्स लगे हैं दे कैन कॉज लिटिल बिट ऑफ इन्फेक्शन. सो इट इज़ मैंडेटरी, अगर आपने उसको छुआ है और हाथ को आप खाने के लिए यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो यू मस्ट टेक ए हैंड वॉश. दैट्स इट. थैंक यू.
नमस्कार सर, रेवाड़ी से तेजपाल सर. मेरे गांव में सर 2 टावर हैं, एक्सचेंज है BSNL का और टावर हैं 2. तो काफ़ी लोगों के सर बीमारी कैंसर की हो रही है. उनके दिल में इस तरह का भ्रम है कि ये टावरों की वजह से इस प्रकार की बीमारियां फैल रही, जबकि आपने बताया कि इससे कोई इस तरह की कोई बीमारी नहीं होती. तो मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था सर कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे या कुछ छोटा ऐसा सेमिनार लगाया जाए कि जहाँ कि गांव में या उनको समझ में आए कि इससे कोई इस प्रकार का ऐसा कोई खतरनाक बीमारी नहीं हो रही. इस तरह का कोई सेमिनार डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे लगे तो उन गांव में भी, विलेज में भी समझ कि इस तरह की बीमारी इससे टावर से नहीं फैलती. थैंक यू.
जो नॉन कार्सिनोजेंस है, एक्सपोजर टू कार्सिनोजन जब होता है तो कम से कम 10 से 15 साल का पीरियड लगता है वो एक्चुअली मैनिफेस्ट स्टडी करी. 6 महीने में तो किसी भी, अगर मान के लो कैंसर कारक तत्व भी है, 6 महीने में कैंसर में कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकता, 10 से 15 साल लगते हैं. और जब हमने वहां सर्वे किया, मोस्ट ऑफ द कैंसर्स फिर हेड एंड नेक, नाक कान गले के थे, और उनमें से 90% जो है तंबाकू का या पान मसाले गुटखे का सेवन 25-25, 30-30 साल पहले से कर रहे थे. तो ऐसा कोई भी एविडेंस नहीं है. और जैसे इंटरनेशनल एजेंसी ऑन कैंसर रिसर्च है, उन्होंने रिव्यू करने के बाद कहा है कि ये जो मोबाइल टावर से निकलने वाला रेडिएशन है वो कैंसर कारक नहीं है, वो कैंसर नहीं करता है. तो एक मिसकंसेप्शन है कि टावर लग के 6 महीने नहीं हुए और आ जाते हैं कि सब वहां हमारे कैंसर के. एक दूसरा एग्जाम्पल मैं बताना चाहता हूं, इससे कितने मिसकंसेप्शन होते हैं. जोधपुर मेडिकल कॉलेज के एक ENT प्रोफेसर ने अखबार के लिए देने के लिए कहा, पोखरण में जब हमने अणुविस्फोट किया 2 महीने में बाद उन्होंने कहा हमारे यहाँ हेड एंड नेक के कैंसर बहुत बढ़ गए. तो 2 महीने में संभावित नहीं था. ही हैज टू रिट्रैक्ट दैट थिंग, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, ये नहीं हो सकता. दूसरा एक एग्जांपल मैं बताता हूं, राजस्थान पावर एटॉमिक स्टेशन जो है वहां 1990 में BBC ने न्यूज दे दी कि वहां से विकिरण निकल रहा है और उससे बहुत सारे कैंसर, इम्पोर्टेंसी और हो रही है. और इतना हवा हो गया कि हमें वहां पे रिसर्च करना पड़ा. 3 साल का हमने रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट लिया और हमने पाया कि उस एरिया में निकलने वाले कोई रेडिएशन की वजह से कोई ना कैंसर के इंसिडेंस बढ़े हैं, ना कोई इम्पोर्टेंसी बढ़ी है, ना कोई और हेल्थ हजार्ड्स बढ़े हैं. और उस आज राजस्थान एटॉमिक पावर स्टेशन लार्जेस्ट पावर स्टेशन है, 8 रिएक्टर वहां काम कर रहे हैं. इसी प्रकार तो एक कई बार मिसकंसेप्शन ऐसे आ जाते हैं, हवा ऐसे हो जाता है, उसकी वजह से लोगों में भ्रम पैदा हो जाता है. तो यही भ्रम ही है ये मोबाइल टावर की वजह से. मैं कहूँ इससे ज्यादा खतरनाक चीजें जो मैं बता रहा हूं, जैसे अभी सर ने कहा कि मोबाइल टावर की जो बैक्टीरिया की वजह से हो सकता है, तंबाकू और ये अन्य कारण जो है वो कैंसर कारक है. मोबाइल टावर इज अ इसेंशियल थिंग. मैं कहूँ कि आज सब मोबाइल फोन यूज करने वाले यहां होंगे, एक दिन के लिए आप मोबाइल कनेक्शन नहीं मिले, जितना स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन होगा उससे ज्यादा हेल्थ हजार्ड होगा. कि आई एम टेलिंग यू, आज हमें मैसेज मिलता है, हाँ घर पे कहते हो कि हाँ मैं पहुंच गया बेटा, हाँ मैं पहुंच गया. अगर वो कनेक्शन नहीं हो रहा, जो स्ट्रेस होगा आपको, इट इज अ इसेंशियल थिंग टुडेज वर्ल्ड में. कह रहा हूं इतना सारा हो गया. तो ये कहना कि इसके बिना रह सकते हो तो कोई हर्ज नहीं कि मोबाइल टावर नहीं लगे. एंड दैट इज व्हाट द केरला हाई कोर्ट ने यही कहा. एक तरफ तो कहते हैं कि पॉल ड्रॉप हो रही है, हमें वो नहीं देते, और दूसरी तरफ तो कहते हैं कि हमारे घर पे नहीं लगना चाहिए. हर आदमी कहता है भगत सिंह पैदा होना चाहिए, लेकिन पड़ोस के घर में. ऐसे हम चाहते हैं कि मोबाइल टावर जो है कनेक्शन तो होना चाहिए, लेकिन मोबाइल टावर हमारे एरिया में लगना नहीं चाहिए. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. मैं
वेरी एलोक्वेंटली पुट डॉक्टर साहब, वेरी एलोक्वेंटली. हाँ बताइए.
Besides, I wanted to talk about a very vital point, that is of permissions.
Sir, I am Sanjay Sharma. I am General Manager with Huda. Daily I received various complaints from resident welfare associations across the Haryana that you have given permission for the installation of these towers so and so. And they are quoting some Supreme Court judgment dated 5th July 2013. At the same time, we received number of applications from the mobile towers vendors for grant of permissions. Sir, my submission is this: while disposing of these applications, there must be some reference site, preferably on DOT. उसमें कहीं पर लिखा होना चाहिए कि मोबाइल टावर्स आर सेफ फॉर जैसे EMF जो EMF emissions के लिए these are safe. There must be some reference site to which we may quote. कि quoting these, you may refer to this particular site. We have given this. So
EMF
this
का एक पोर्टल है सर.
On DOT website is dot.gov.in. There is a section, a journey of EMF, and in that section, the journey of EMF, so many circulars, informative material, and research studies, information, WHO, etc. is given. You can refer to that, and bulk of information is there. In case further anything is required, we can do it. You can let me know.
Sir,
Thank
I was
you.
going to ask a similar question actually. I'll add on to his question. I'm Senior Town Planner, Chandigarh UT. My first question is to Mr. Ram Narayan. You said there are 0 non-compliant towers in Punjab. Does that include Chandigarh?
Yeah, it includes Chandigarh.
Okay. Then as the authorities, as we give permissions, could we ask the service provider for a document to certify that they are compliant towers, so that when people come to us with requests of shifting the towers, so they also have a locus standi and we are also in a safe mode. We can say, yes, look, we have this document which says that they are compliant. So what kind of document can that be?
Yeah, the documents are submitted with the term cell and they are available. As and when anybody wants to check for any tower, they can check that document. That document is available.
No, but the service providers are not giving us that document.
I would request, this is a very, very good point that you make. There is a term cell. We will further make available the contact, address, phone number, email of these people. There is a DOT cell. See, if a service provider provides a certification, that could be one way. But whenever you have a doubt, please refer to the DOT term cell and they will respond to you, which will be the authoritative response. That would be my suggestion. And we will try to ensure that this is done in a very responsive and time-bound manner.
This information about DOT term cells is also available on DOT website. And further, most of you would have collected the pamphlets which are available outside. If you have not collected, please do it, because a lot of information, including various judgments, what international experts say, what Indian experts say, is available in those pamphlets, and they are available outside. Please do collect them.
MS Dhillon, चीफ जनरल मैनेजर BSNL. अभी सेक्रेटरी साहब ने कहा कि अभी पूछा भी क्वेश्चन कि टावर्स सेफ हैं या हैंडसेट सेफ हैं, तो अभी बोला कि हैंडसेट सेफ नहीं है, टावर
दोनों सेफ हैं, ये नहीं बोला हैंडसेट सेफ नहीं है।
नहीं, सेफ नहीं है, टावर सेफ है, इसलिए क्योंकि ये हमारा कवरेज कम है तो ये ज़्यादा एमिट करती है एनर्जी। तो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट यही है कि रेजिडेंशियल एरिया में भी क्यों नहीं अलाउ करते कि टावर लगें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, ताकि ये एमिट कम करे। जितना ही सिग्नल पुअर होगा उतना ही ये ज़्यादा पावर रेडिएट करेगा और विल बी मोर हार्मफुल। मतलब हार्मफुल नहीं भी हो, लेकिन इट विल बी कंसंट्रेटिंग एट द वन पॉइंट। सो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट यही है कि गवर्नमेंट्स के लेवल पे रेजिडेंशियल एरिया में भी अलाउ किया जाए, परमिशन दी जाए कि टावर
दिल्ली में डीडीए ने सभी चीज़ों पर विचार करके ये तय कर दिया है कि रेजिडेंशियल एरिया में मोबाइल टावर लगाए जाने में कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। और इस डिसीजन तक पहुंचने से पूर्व उन्होंने जितनी एविडेंस हमने आपको बताई उससे अधिक जो डेटा है, जो स्टडीज़ हैं, उन सब पे विचार करके ये निर्णय लिया। संभवतः चंडीगढ़ में भी यही रूल होगा, मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए कि देयर शुड बी नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन मोबाइल टावर्स except the local body requirements की zoning requirements या कहाँ पे है या aesthetic requirements या बाकी चीज़ें. Okay. We will take it up with Chandigarh administration.
मैडम एक आई जस्ट गिव ए वेरी बेसिक बायोलॉजिकल आंसर उसके लिए कहता हूँ. एक चिड़िया को मारने के लिए जो एनर्जी चाहिए ना, जैसे हम एक रेडिएशन की लैंग्वेज में बोलते हैं, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग हाईजैकिंग हिज वर्ड्स, कि एक टोटल बॉडी रेडिएशन अगर 12 ग्रे का एक दिन दे देते हैं तो आदमी मर जाता है. तो उतना बराबर आने के लिए 1000 करोड़ मोबाइल टावर्स को चिड़िया के बाजू में रखना चाहिए, विच इज इम्पॉसिबल. सो टेक्निकली एंड साइंटिफिकली स्पीकिंग सिर्फ रेडिएशन की वजह से एक स्पैरो नहीं मर सकती है. वो दूसरे कारण हो सकता है, जैसे सर ने पहले बताए थे, एनवायरमेंटल चेंजेस हैं, उनका जो खाना हमने छीन लिया और पेस्टिसाइड चलने के बाद छोटी छोटी कीड़ा नहीं है तो जिसके ऊपर वो खा के दे ग्रो अप, वो सभी कारण है. इट इज़ नॉट द मेन रीजन मैडम. टेक्निकली यू कांट किल ए स्पैरो बाय पुटिंग सेल्स ऑल अराउंड इट ऑल्सो, राइट? इट्स इम्पॉसिबल.
मैडम, एक स्टैनफोर्ड बायोलॉजिस्ट्स ने एक बड़ी एक्सटेंसिव स्टडी की थी और उस एक्सटेंसिव स्टडी के बाद में ये पाया गया कि द रीजंस दैट हैव बीन एट्रीब्यूटेड टू द डिक्लाइन इन नंबर्स ऑफ स्पैरोज एंड बर्ड्स इज द मोमेंटम ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज, widespread habitat loss, increasing numbers of invasive species, lack of food due to disappearing kitchen gadgets, lack of nesting places, widespread use of pesticides and herbicides, and it does not find any correlation between loss of sparrows and EMF radiations. This is a cycle, this is a biological cycle which goes on. Dinosaurs have extinguished. Tigers are on the verge of, lions are on the verge of extinction. It has nothing to do with EMF, that is what most of the studies state.
Madam, there is one more thing, you have to read a book, and I think I will suggest everyone in this room should read that book, because that is a book which started the global environmental movement. And some of you might have read that book. That book is The Silent Spring. It is written by Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson जो है, जब अमेरिका की रेचल कार्सन, द बुक साइलेंट स्प्रिंग, वो रेचल जो कार्सन हैं, वो इतनी बड़ी एक हस्ती बनी कि अमेरिका में जब एक लिस्ट बनाई गई कि पूरी अमेरिकन हिस्ट्री में 20 सबसे बड़े जो जिन्होंने कंट्रीब्यूट किया हो, उसमें उनका नाम है. और रेचल कार्सन की जो साइलेंट स्प्रिंग है वो यही है वो बुक, कि शी वेरी केयरफुली ऑब्जर्व कि हर साल स्प्रिंग में बर्ड्स आती थी, पर धीरे धीरे उस स्प्रिंग वो बर्ड गायब होने लगी. तो शी वेंट आफ्टर स्टडिंग की ऐसा हो क्यों रहा है. ऐसा इसलिए हुआ कि वहाँ पर जब उन्होंने स्टडी किया कि बहुत एक्सटेंसिव यूज़ ऑफ डीडीटी किया गया था, उसकी वजह से बर्ड्स स्टार्टेड स्टॉपिंग लेइंग एग्स, और उसकी वजह से वो ख़त्म हो गई. सो पेस्टिसाइड वाज द प्रिंसिपल कॉज ऑफ डिसअपियरेंस ऑफ बर्ड. और इंडिया में अभी भी जैसे डीडीटी है, क्योंकि मैं इसके यूनॉप्स की कमेटी में बैठता हूँ पेस्टिसाइड वाली, हमारे यहाँ डीडीटी का यूज़ सिर्फ वेक्टर कंट्रोल के लिए परमिटेड है, लेकिन अभी भी डीडीटी बहुत यूज़ हो रहा है, जो कि दैट मेड बी ए प्रिंसिपल कॉज ऑफ द डिसअपियरेंस ऑफ बर्ड्स.
Sirs, I am G.S. Kheda from Mohali, and the trouble is not the emission, or people are they already seen they are glued to mobile phones and protesting much more for the towers and pole sites. We are hosting 2 pole sites on our house, and the permission is not granted from around 2012. And there are sometimes, the neighbors are attacking, they are, some of the sadistic people are even lying outside the houses, and there is a need to educate the DCs, SSPs, and the police departments. There is another friend from Kapurthala is facing the same problem. So we should do something to get the permissions. if there is nothing wrong we have done, if there is no emission we are generating, then what is the fun? These Gamada and the police, they are using force on us. And we were exposed to a greater risk that more than 70 people gathered around our house. And me and my sons had to thwart their, we fought there with them. And the police came later. And we fought for the people, the Airtel had sent. For them we fought because they growled those workers. And there was no support either from the service provider nor from the government, and we are still fighting in the courts. So kindly do something for this thing also. Unless and until we get permissions, nobody can host the towers or pole sites. So please.
DDG term, may I request you to take the details of this after this thing from him, and please follow it up. That is exactly the point. Because of this misconception, wrong, and in public interest, the police wala or the DC is not giving permission, or the local body, because they feel that they are protecting the public, while the truth is that there is no need to protect the public from this. But so-called protecting the public, you are depriving it of services. So may I request you to take the details and follow it up with the agencies concerned. And we are not only talking to stakeholders like the ones present here, we will also take it up with others. So this kind of problem which you are facing should not be faced by other people who are similarly placed. This is the problem, and this is because of the misconception which people feel that tower लगेगा तो radiation होगा, उससे बीमारी होगी वगैरह वगैरह.
नमस्कार सर, मैं हिमाचल प्रदेश से हूँ.
एक सजेशन
एक मिनट भैया, उसका
ऑफिसर्स ट्रेनिंग स्कूल से आपका जो होता है, वहाँ पे हम हेल्थ केयर के बारे में तो करते रहते हैं, जहाँ ऑफिसर्स आते हैं, अकाउंट पीपल आते हैं, आपके पुलिस के आते हैं, तो वहाँ भी ऐसे एक अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम करके दे विल बी गोइंग टू डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड अदर प्लेसेस, तो उनका अवेयरनेस होना भी बहुत जरूरी है.
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन श्री JS दीपक और IIT के प्रोफेसर से है कि क्या गवर्नमेंट, कुछ लोग आते हैं ये शील्ड और कर्टन सेल करने की, इससे रेडिएशन प्रोटेक्शन हो जाता है घरों पे और इससे हो जाता है टार का प्रोटेक्शन. क्या ये सच में ऐसी कोई चीज़ अफेक्ट करती है? IIT प्रोफेसर से पूछना चाहती हूँ, और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से कि क्या आप ये एंडोर्स करते हैं, ये सब अप्रूव्ड हैं क्या प्रोडक्ट्स?
Yeah, actually, I know there is one company which, at least I know, I'm aware of one of the companies which sells these shields. But you see, everything is not due to towers, and in general, prolonged exposure to radiation of various kinds may have different kind of harm. So it is a general shield. But the problem is that they just target the telecom service providers and make them the scapegoats and keep propagating that. And another problem is that of course constructing towers is kind of, sometimes it's a aesthetic problem, and to get around it, this is an excuse to stop it. So let us not get confused with these things. Just like you need heat, but beyond a point you'll burn yourself. It's like that. So you need some protection from
let me finish. There are a number of people and entities, agencies who are trying to use this fear of radiation to make money out of it. That's normal. If you are fearful of something, if I say that I am afraid of something and there's a solution, there would be someone who would like to provide a solution on payment basis. The basic point is that there is no risk of this radiation. That is a belief. So no protective shield or layer or anything is required. That is what our view is. And there is evidence to show that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last 3 questions for this session. We would like to give a chance to people who have not asked questions and have been waiting for a very long time at the back there.
हेलो सर, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है. ਸਾਡੀ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟ ਐਨਕਲੇਵ ਸੈਕਟਰ 50B ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਵੀ ਰੇਂਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਸਿਗਨਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਜੀ. ਕਿਸੇ ਟਾਵਰ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਵੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਵਾਇਆ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਐਡਮਿਨਿਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪਲ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ। ਉੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਟਾਵਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ? ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੌਟ ਆਊਟ ਹੋਏਗੀ? ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿਡ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਟਾਵਰ ਲਗਵਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਬਟ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਟਾਵਰ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਬੜੀ, ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਲਗਾਏਗੀ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਗਾਏਗੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ रेंज की प्रॉब्लम सॉर्ट आउट कितना होएगी सर?
हम लोग का जो आंसर है कि ये कन्फ्यूज़न की स्थिति है। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में हमेशा गैप रहता है। हम लोग बाई अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम और बाई टेकिंग अप आवर सेक्रेटरीज टेकिंग अप स्ट्रांगली विद ऑल द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ये नॉलेज गैप कम हो। पर इमीडिएट सोल्यूशन ये है कि हम लोग अपने टर्म सेल के जो हमारे अधिकारी हैं उनके बारे में और पब्लिसाइज करेंगे। और राइट नाउ आपका डिटेल हमारे डीडीजी टर्म पंजाब मिस्टर सिंघल ले लेंगे। ही विल ट्राई टू हेल्प यू। टर्म सेल का एक काम ये भी है कि दे विल एक्ट एज ए फैसिलिटेटर फॉर द टीएसपी, जो हमारे टेलीकॉम सर्विस प्रोवाइडर उनको फैसिलिटी प्रदान करेंगे ताकि इस प्रकार के कन्फ्यूज़न को दूर करके हमारी मोबाइल सेवाओं का विस्तार हर जगह हो सके।
हेलो, हाँ जी सर, मैं अरुण शर्मा काउंसलर मोहाली से। मैं सिर्फ ये जानना चाहता हूँ आपसे, अगर ये मोबाइल टावर हार्मफुल नहीं है तो इनकी परमिशन कौन देता है? गमाडा वालों से पूछो, वो कहते डीसी देगा। डीसी से पूछो, वो कहता गमाडा वाले देंगे। और हमारे मोहाली के अंदर तो इतने झगड़े हो रहे हैं, आपको पेपरों में भी पढ़ने को मिला होगा, लेकिन उसका कोई सलूशन नहीं है, कोई हल नहीं है। हमें खुद नहीं पता। कंपनी वालों से बात की कि आप मोहल्ले वालों को आके सर्टिफाई करो, वो भी नहीं आए, तो फिर किससे बात करें? लगभग 3-4 जगह ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आई है। मैं खुद कंपनी वालों के पास गया, उनके मैनेजर से बात करी, लेकिन वहाँ पे कोई सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए आया ही नहीं। कभी कहते हैं हम जलंधर हैं, कभी कहते हैं अमृतसर हैं, कभी कहते हैं गुड़गांव हैं। जब उनको बुलाओ तो कोई आता ही नहीं है जी। तो हम क्योंकि पब्लिक को नुमाइंदे हैं हम, तो हमें तो पता होना चाहिए कि किसके पास जाएं, किससे बात करें। डीसी से बात करी, डीसी कहता है कि गमाडा वाले देंगे परमिशन। गमाडा वालों से ईओ से बात करी, वो कहती डीसी देगा। अब हमें खुद ही नहीं समझ आ रही, तो हम लोगों को क्या समझाएंगे?
साधारणतया टावर लगाने के लिए 2 तरह की परमिशंस की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। एक तो है जिसमें कि ईएमएफ और फ्रीक्वेंसी क्लियरेंसेस जो है, जिस सेफ्का क्लियरेंस जिसको बोलते हैं, वो क्लियरेंसेस सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट देती है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ टेलीकम्युनिकेशन। इसके अलावा जब टावर लगाते हैं तो जो स्ट्रक्चर जो वो लगाना है वहाँ पर, और जो अगर कोई लैंड बायलॉज का कोई वहाँ पर इशू है तो वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट करती है। इस तरह के यहाँ पर 2-3 सवाल आ चुके हैं जिसमें कि ये इशू रेज किया गया है कि जो लोकल गवर्नमेंट या जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है, दे हैव टू प्रोबेबली be more understanding, or there has to be little more liaising. So I would request Mr. Singhal, he may probably just show his face and just so Mr. Singhal is DDG term and he is in charge of this area. Mr. Ahuja is also DDG term and he is in charge of Punjab area. So Haryana, Mr. Ahuja is of Haryana and Mr. Singhal is of Punjab. So these 2 officers are fully controlling these issues for Punjab and Haryana, and I would request that anyone should be able to contact at least those who are here. They may contact them during the lunch. They will take all the details and they will try to settle it. And at the second level, we will try to connect on our own with the state governments to settle the issues. Thank you.
Let's have a...
Mr. Singhal is in charge for UT.
Let's have
time for the
last question, please.
Last question for the session.
My last appointment was Deputy Director Telecommunication. I would like to dispel this misconception of EMF. generated from the towers. Ships or the floating platform on board at sea, where we have got high power transmitters capable of contacting India from any corner of the world. There are radars to control the weapons. There are radars to do the navigations. So far, all these high power radiations have never affected any sailor or any officers of the Indian Navy. So this is a wrong conception that EMF generated out of the mobile towers is affecting the health of the people. That is totally wrong.
On that note, I think we will bring this workshop to an end. I hope, I would like to thank you all for your presence, for your patience, and also like to thank the panelists, a distinguished set of expert panelists who have been here with us and given their opinions on this very important issue. Yeah. The message which the distinguished gentleman who spoke last just articulated, I think is getting along. The basic point that we sought to make, and I hope many of you are convinced, that mobile tower radiations are very low level, low intensity electromagnetic fields. They are weaker fields than those due to many domestic gadgets. This is not harmful, and this should not be the reason for wanting to shut down towers or remove them. जैसा कि कहा गया, कई चीज़ें मोबाइल से रिलेटेड और हार्मफुल हैं कि बात कर रहे हैं तो एक्सीडेंट हो जाए, उसमें जो जर्म्स होते हैं उससे इन्फेक्शन हो जाए. तो रेडिएशन के संबंध में मेरा आपसे सुझाव है कि टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. I hope those who are convinced will carry this message forward, and those who still have doubts, as there may be some people, we will continue to interact through them through this kind of workshop at different levels, at different opportunities, and I'm sure sooner than later that they will get convinced. I would like to, before I hand over to the compare to do the vote of thanks and mementos and picture, etc., I would like to, on behalf of the Department of Telecom as well as on your behalf, like to thank our distinguished panelists who are experts, come from different areas, and may I request the audience to give them a round of applause. Yeah.
We would like to thank our expert panelists today for taking time out from the busy schedules and helping us understand the modalities of EMF emissions and telecom towers. I would now request Shri R.P. Singhal and Shri V.K. Ahuja, DDG terms, to kindly come and hand over mementos, tokens of our appreciation to our expert panelists. Thank you so much, sirs. I would now request Shri V.K. Ahuja, DDG term Haryana, to kindly give the vote of thanks.
Yeah, good afternoon. On behalf of Department of Telecom, I feel privileged to propose the vote of thanks. Yeah. At the end of this public outreach and awareness program, on electromagnetic At the end of this public outreach and awareness program on electromagnetic field emissions and mobile towers. At the outset, I thank Shri J.S. Deepak, Secretary Telecom, for taking time out of his busy schedule and share his views on the importance of wireless technologies in Indian growth story, and for reassuring all of us here that the health of citizen is paramount and government policies and enforcement mechanisms ensure that mobile towers are safe. I express my sincere gratitude to Shri Dipender Singh Desi, Chief Secretary Government of Haryana, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion as guest of honor in today's program. It was brought out by him that Haryana government has taken many initiatives and leading other states in digital connectivity by bringing agriculture mandis on electronic platform, electronic public distribution system, and electronic dispersal of pension, etc. As telecom is very vital infrastructure for overall growth of our country and its economy, also telecom towers are the backbone of wireless and seamless communication. His suggestions of conducting such awareness workshops at smaller cities is well taken and would be positively initiated by the DOT units. I also express my sincere gratitude to Shri G.K. Upadhyay, Member Technology, DOT, and all senior officers from the central and state government of Punjab, Haryana, and UT for making it convenient to attend this program. I would like to place on record our hearty thanks to eminent speaker Shri Ram Narayan, Senior Deputy Director General TAM, Dr. R.M. Chaturvedi, Deputy Director General Carrier Services, and Dr. Suresh Atili from Grace Cancer Foundation for sharing their knowledge with us. After your presentation, I am sure all of us in the room are far better informed about the scientific facts of EMF emission from mobile towers. We now know better for sure that the towers in our vicinities are safe. I also convey our sincere thanks to Dr. T.K. Joshi, Advisor to Health Minister, Government of India, Dr. Arun Chogle, Head of Department of Radiological, SMS Medical College, Jaipur, Shri Ranjan Kumar Malik, Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Delhi, for being part of panel and have patiently answered all the queries from our august audience and cleared their doubts. I also convey my sincere thanks to Shri M.S. Dillon, CGM BSNL Punjab, Shri R.C. Hooda, CGM BSNL Haryana, Shri Kapil Sethia, Chief Architect Chandigarh, for gracing this occasion. We are also grateful to all representatives of Public and Residential Welfare Association for sparing their valuable time for this event. We sincerely hope that today's discussion have given a new insight on this important topic. I am thankful to all the senior journalists and our friends from press and media who have come all the way to cover this event. I also extend my hearty thanks to all participants who have come to attend this event. Friends, at last, this type of event requires meticulous planning and coordination, which has been done by Shri R.P. Singhal, DDG TAM Punjab, in coordination with TAM Cell Haryana, and the officers at the headquarters at Department of Telecom at Delhi, and involvement of the industries. My sincere thanks to them in making this program a grand success. My special thanks to are also due to Mr. T.V. Ramachandran and his team, who have relentlessly worked hard to make this program a success. In the end, I thank one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would request all the dignitaries on the dais to please stand up for a photo op. Thank you so much. We would like to thank all the people who took time out today and came and joined us for this session. Thank you for gathering here today, and we hope the session proved useful. Lunch is now served. You are requested to please join us for lunch.
Well, if you look at the growth of our telecom sector, mobile telephony has been critical. In fact, it is because of cell phones that we were able to leapfrog a stage of development. And from about 30 million lines, 30 million telephones in 2000, we could reach a figure of 1 billion last year. So this has been a